Hey, welcome back, guys, to We've Seen It, episode number 11. As always, my name's Cam.
And I'm Jimmy.
Let's get into the episode. And we're back. Thanks for joining us again, guys, for episode number 11. Jimmy, what's new?
Oh, not a whole lot.
Honestly, the weeks go by so fast now that I don't always know what's happened between last time and this time, other than the anime. Like I think last time we talked, I received my PlayStation 5, and this time I think now you've received your PlayStation 5.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, so maybe all the rumors online about it taking too long to get to people and it's too expensive and they won't have it for years. That's just all bullshit, apparently. You got yours pretty fast after launch.
I mean, yeah, I got lucky with the Amazon release, but
yeah, I think I just saw a thing saying that they were putting out more of them soon too on other things. So if we have any other friends, we'd convince them to buy it soon.
I feel kind of bad for anyone who paid like really inflated prices for a scalped one.
Yeah, well, that's just stupid. They deserve it. They deserve to lose that money if they have that much money. If they have like $20,000 to play for a PlayStation, to pay for a PlayStation, then they deserve to pay for it.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, have you tried watching Crunchyroll on your PlayStation yet?
Not yet, actually.
Okay, that's exclusively what I've used since because I traded in my PlayStation 4.
Right.
So that's the only thing I've used to watch it, and it's been better now. But yeah, as I mentioned last week, it was closing on me a lot. I think this week Funimation failed on me a few times, but then I would just hit retry and it would load back up. But I actually really like the way the Crunchyroll app looks on the PS5. It's kind of like the mobile app, which I didn't like, but it's like a little bit better, a little cleaner.
It's good to know.
Yeah, so
I haven't tried it yet.
And Funimation looks the exact same, and I'm pretty much always hate the Funimation. Because like a lot of times when I want to go to like most or like recently added episodes, because Funimation's adding so much shit on, sometimes it's like 100 episodes, 100 things by is like the episode I'm looking for, instead of me just going to my queue or searching the name.
Yeah, I mean, I've even noticed that they don't on the mobile app. I can't even find a new releases tab, so I have to go through my queue. So.
Yeah, that's why at least on the thing they have the new releases there, which is nice.
That's good.
But yeah, this week, same as every single week, basically for the last probably 4 weeks now.
Yep.
I think since we swapped at one point, added Wandering Witch on there.
Yeah, we were kind of up in the air if we were going to include it. But
yeah, but now we're talking about the consistent 7 episodes. So we have Noblesse, Wandering Witch, Standing on a Million Lives, Machi King's Raid, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Fire Force, as always. We talked about it before. We are getting closer to the end of the season. Right now, most things are on episode 8, which means there's probably 4 weeks left.
Yeah, we've got about a third of the season left. So.
Yeah, so a couple more weeks, we're going to be into the Christmas season, and then after that is when you're looking at winter, is late December into pretty much January, February 2021.
Yep.
There's going to be lots of things coming out. We've now started to see more talk of what's coming out. Like I actually did watch my first What to Watch in Winter 2021 season.
Yeah, we're starting to see some of the trailers coming out, some of the actual announcements. So
yeah, and it looks like it's going to be... I'm thinking that we're going to have a smaller, more condensed list, but the list is going to be... But like each episode we talk about is going to be an episode that we care a lot more about.
Oh yeah,
it's not going to be as much like we're watching this just because we're watching this. It's going to be like, hey, like I am like every single week I'm looking forward to this. The only 2 right now. I know there's other ones too that I'll like. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to watch the Spider Isekai because it's an Isekai and I'll watch it. But the 2 right now are definitely Attack on Titan and Log Horizon for me.
Those are definitely the big names behind this season. I still don't believe there's a Spider Isekai. I still haven't seen anything about it.
I saw it on a list, and I didn't watch because I think that the trailer, there's a trailer for it, but I think it was all Japanese, and the video I was watching didn't have subtitles.
Okay.
I'm just literally going to say it's the reincarnated as a slime, but reincarnated as like a anime spider.
Okay.
I don't know how it's going to go, but you should at least watch the trailer at some point.
I'll probably check it out. I mean, there is reincarnated as a slime got another season.
I saw that too. That's another big one, yeah. So I'm thinking of a smaller but like big, like a more important list.
Yeah.
That way we have more time to talk about each one because like when you talk about shit like Attack on Titan, the final season, the reveals in each episode, especially so maybe not every single episode, but as you get farther into the season, the amount of stuff that is going to be revealed is going to just be insane to talk about. So it's going to take a long time, and like this is going to be a show more than anything, more than even like ReZero, where like theories are really important. Like starting in the first episode, having theories about where it's going to end. I'm gonna rewatch season 3 again before this one comes out, just to get reacquainted with what happened. Because even the other day I was like thinking about the end of season 3, and I remember all the important things, but a lot of the small details weren't there. And I was like, I'll rewatch it before that comes out.
Small details can definitely make a big difference trying to figure out where you're going with this. So.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a big one to talk about each week, and it's gonna take so long. I'm like, you know what? Like if we try and talk about like kind of like this, if we try and talk about 7 or 8 episodes of anime, but mixed in with shit like Log Horizon, reincarnated as a slime, Attack on Titan, and we're taking 30 minutes to discuss one of those episodes, it's gonna once again get into that like extremely long podcast time. So we're probably gonna have a more condensed list. But that being said, like always, still, if there's an anime you're looking forward to based off a manga, maybe it's a second season of a show that we haven't talked about before, anything like that, just let us know in the comments down below, because we're always interested. It might not make it on there. Maybe you're interested in the worst anime of all time, and we're gonna be like, no, I'm putting a stop to that right now. But maybe it's just something we haven't heard of, or we've been debating on it. Maybe it's the Spider Isekai. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, there's always those shows that surprise you after you start them. So if you have any recommendations,
yeah, like always too, we're probably going to be watching a lot of anime. It's just that which ones we talk about is takes more thought. So it's not that we won't be watching the anime you recommend. Most of the time, we're going to watch most of the anime anyways. It just comes down to if we decide it's a good animated season to talk about or not. Because there's a lot of like some of our favorite shows this season are just ones we don't talk about because it's stuff like like a romantic comedy or there's not enough substance each episode to really get into. It's not that we're not watching them; it's just that it's not the best to talk about.
Something like Tony Kawa, for instance.
Yeah,
you'd say like they got up to married antics again.
Yeah.
Anyways, next show.
Yeah, it's like they did some cute shit. They're lovey-dovey. Okay, there's not really any stakes in the show. There's not really conflict. Because it's one of those romance shows that doesn't have conflict. It's not like a lot of Western romance shows are built upon conflict, right? About misunderstandings, like jealousy, all that kind of stuff. But a lot of these pure romance anime shows, there's no conflict. It's just like the conflict is like which one of us loves the other one more, and that's it. You're never getting any farther than that.
Yeah, you get the odd person who's like, I want to break up your marriage and shit like that. But
yeah,
it lasts like half an episode.
You still have like the rival characters, but the main characters are so into each other they don't even notice them. It's just it's funny for us, the audience, seeing all these rival characters that also love the characters that are in love, but they don't even notice because they're so in love.
Yeah.
It's one of the things. Like for Tony Kawa, the girls of the bath, I think we're gonna get some more based off what I saw for the next episode. I think they're
gonna play a role, especially after his house burnt down.
Yeah, especially after his house burnt down. They did joke about that in the episode, so it was a nice little.
I'm not gonna lie, because I was always a big fan of this author. The moment you said that, it's like, wow, his house just burned down. There wasn't even a question about it.
Yeah, he was like, oh, okay, yeah, you know what? You guys needed a bigger house anyways. There you go. You get to buy a house now as a married
This is one
couple.
way to settle the argument.
Yeah. But yeah, I think other than that, we're just gonna get into the episodes talking. As always, be sure to like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then always recommend us if you have any friends, which I hope you do. But if you have any anime watching friends, just let them know. If they're like, hey, I'm the hugest fan of Don Machi, be like, well, you know what? Just go to this part right here. We always have all the timestamps down in the description as well as they're on the actual buffering bar, and they could literally just come in here for like the 10 to 15 minutes about Don Machi each week. Don't expect everyone to watch every single one, because if you're watching every anime in the season, you are as big a loser as me and Jimmy are. So I hope you're not. I'm praying for you. Yeah. But other than that, let's just get into the episode. Before we do, let's, of course, crack open our non-sponsored energy drinks. I was like, I'll hide the name. I was like, I'm not hiding the name. Take a little sip before we get in.
That literally, if we're pointing it towards us, the label's pointing out.
That's true. Plus, we drink the exact same brand every single episode. It's just a coincidence. It's 10 calories and it's very delicious. But let's just get right into it. So as always, the very first thing we're talking about is Noblesse, the only anime that's still on the 7th episode. So it's a week behind all the other ones. So it's fitting that it's the one we talk about first.
Yep. And this episode is called "The Girl I'm Into Is a Noble/Unforgettable."
Yeah, filler episode.
I mean, right up until the end, it was filler.
I guess many of the episodes are filler. The end wasn't. But I don't know. Even the end was. It was just like, it's not filler because you would have to watch that to know what's going on in the next part. But like, it's not
if you didn't see it, you wouldn't know what's going on.
Yeah, but it's not like any big revelation or anything like that. It's not like we learned something. It's not like a cliffhanger, a twist. It's something that I wasn't expecting. I was expecting for it like not to work or something along those lines. So basically, there's not tons to talk about in this episode. We do get to see Tao and Takio, I think is his name.
Yes.
They're now introduced to the school as security guards. Like, I can never remember if it's M21 or M24. It's M21. The three of them are now adult like security for the school, and they're all hot boys. So all the girls are going nuts and that kind of stuff. And then the first part of the episode is mainly just about the main character, Tashiro. I remembered his name this time. It's about him. They're trying to figure out if he has a girl he likes. Then he kind of admits he likes Sayra a little bit. It doesn't seem that At the beginning,
He
they're just
just
like, "Who do you like?" And he's like, "Well, if I had to pick someone, I guess I'd pick her."
Yeah, not a very dedicated, like, I like her type scenario, is it?
Yeah, it was literally like, "Hey, tell me a girl you like," and he's like, "Well, like," he's like looking around, like, "Yeah, I guess her if I had to pick."
If I had to pick someone, I guess I'd choose the super hot vampire lady.
Yeah. So then a lot of it's just a lot of gags where he's trying to figure out. He's asking the adults how to get women basically.
Yeah, and of course as
none of them are good adults to ask anyways.
yeah, because they're all freaking like monster
Yeah,
experiments.
they're
with
all
never had
experiments
interactions.
now who has just been working for maybe a government association.
It's just called the organization. Which did you watch the scene after the credits this time? Because there's been one every episode.
No, I didn't.
Okay, so you see a little bit of the organization there, and it's basically a cult. So it's probably not government.
Okay. Well, whoa. We don't know that for sure.
I mean, probably.
Listen, let's not get into the whole. I guess normally we talk about how religion's bad on the podcast. We haven't that often talked about government being bad. But yeah, so a lot of it was just the filler. They were trying to, he'd go to the different adults, be like, "Hey, how do I get her?" The best part of the episode was, of course, where they're like, "Hey, well, like impress her with something you're good at," and then they play basketball. And they're against like the adult characters, and they're like, okay, like let's let him look impressive.
Yeah.
But then of course, Regis and M21 have that crazy rivalry. So once they start getting to it, they forget completely about what they're supposed to be doing. And then even like when he finally has Tashiro finally has the moment he's about to look cool going for the dunk, and then Takio just fucking swipes in full court 3-pointer to finish it off. And then at the end he's just like, oh fuck. They're like, did you forget the reason you're doing this?
They all did. Everyone except for Tao.
I also did like the part where they're asking Frankenstein like if he's just basically talking how he's like a fucking lady slayer.
I
It's
know.
like back in the day, and they're all just like, you're a bad person to ask. He's just
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good little filler episode, and then obviously we finished the end with a little bit more emotional where Tashiro and Manabu walk in and they're like, hey, we have to erase your memories. We already know as the audience that that's a thing. We already knew they had their memory erased.
Which I do want to note that them trying to get him together with Sarah before they did this was kind of a dick move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little savage, because if it had worked...
Yeah, it'd be like, yeah, now your relationship's over. Fuck you.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they made the good point where he said, like, hey, like, he's like, my feelings won't be gone, just the memories. They're like, yeah, exactly. And,
I don't know.
Well, the thing is, he still, like, I don't know if he clearly didn't have the relationship with, like, I feel like there was the whole thing where he kind of bonded with Takio and that, like, even though, like, then he found out he wasn't actually him. He was, like, being a character and that kind of stuff. And then as he runs by them, he just calls them, like, old dudes. So it's taken away a little bit. But, like, he still knows them, and he still says hi to, like, Regis and, Sierra and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's still a huge change in context for the relationship, so I don't know if that's really true.
Yeah, I don't know why that needed to be a thing. I get that they're like, oh, this is how we, like, protect. This is how no one's ever found out of us, because when they do, and we just erase their memories. And then the union people are like, yeah, and when people find out of the organization, we also erase them.
Yeah, kind of a different context.
Yeah, a little slightly different. It's a little less erase memories and probably a little more erase life.
Yeah, erase you, erase your friends, erase your family within like 3 degrees, and then.
Yeah, but yeah, very much a filler episode. Still, a little bit of character growth until the memories were erased. So
yeah, it's basically just a big reset button. I don't really know where they're going to go from here.
I have no idea, especially because we're only 8 or 7 episodes in. So we still almost have a whole half left to go.
I know.
We don't have a bad guy anymore at this point. The main character no longer knows what's going on around him. It's just, I'm confused.
I mean, what's going to end up happening is something else is going to happen. It's going to drag them back into this world. And they're going to have to go like, by the way, this will be the 3rd time we've wiped your memories.
Yeah, they can't just keep doing that though. Like eventually, like it has to like work less.
I mean, I'm getting like a Men in Black feeling, like with the little flashy thing, the neuralizer. Mm-hmm. When he's just like, "Have you ever done that to me?" It's like once. It's like, wait, what do you mean?
Yeah, I hope that maybe like some things just jog their memories, like they have like like weird kind of flashbacks and like, oh, what's that? Like that's not one of my memories, and it kind of reminds them when shit starts to hit the fan, but. Yeah, very much a filler episode. No big surprise. The last episode was about as actiony as it's gotten. So I don't know if we needed an episode 7 cooldown from that much action, but we weren't surprised. We definitely saw that coming, especially since advertisements on YouTube and stuff. So
it did mislead us a little because we kind of thought they'd end up as students, not as faculty.
Well, I thought Tao would end up a student because I swear I saw him wearing a school outfit.
No, he was just in the gym uniform. It was such a basic uniform.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of a trick, but yeah, pretty much exactly what we expected. We expected a cooldown episode after all that action from the one before. Yeah. I'm just now confused where they're going to go.
Yeah, so they're gonna introduce some other random villain. He's gonna put them in danger again. They're gonna find out all over again.
Yeah, it'll probably just be another someone from the Union. I
Yeah.
assume it's too early in the show. If they want to keep the show going, eventually we're gonna get the plot. There's gonna be the bad Noble,
Yeah.
obviously, but it's too early for that. But yeah, I don't. It was good episode, I guess. I still enjoy. I probably enjoyed this filler episode more than I enjoyed the first few episodes of the show in general.
Yeah,
But I mean, nothing really stands out. I remember the names a little bit better than normal. That's
yeah.
one thing.
We feel closer to the characters. They've got a better cast to bounce off of. It's not just one random schmuck that we don't really know with a broken arm.
Yeah, luckily our memories weren't erased, so we still get to remember everything about the characters.
Yeah,
I was kind of sad we didn't get to see any more of Takio dealing with the whole sister thing.
yeah. They kind
He
of
he's just like last episode. He's like, wait, what? And then this episode, he's just like, yep, okay.
yeah, just kind of gloss over. Just like, oh, okay. You got over
Well,
that really
I
quick.
think it's because the episode was such filler that they're like, fuck it, let's not deal with that. We'll deal with that in the next episode when we get back to like story stuff.
Yeah, he just had like a few days where he just didn't care, and then he's gonna have a mental breakdown later.
The thing is, what if now they erase all these episodes we've seen, and they put that as an OVA, and then the
Oh my
next episode's the
God.
start of the show, and it starts off with the characters coming with no memory of what happened.
Because I actually got around to watching Awakening, which is the original that they based all this
Was
on.
that how long was that?
30 minutes? It's like
Okay.
it's like an OVA.
When I saw like something in the trailer for it, or I saw something of it the one day, like in the it was the flashbacks in the episode. I was like, that seems like a lot of action for 30 minutes, like a lot going
Yeah,
on.
it does like the 1990s anime movie thing where they don't give you a lot of information. You're supposed to just kind of infer it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'd already watched some of the show, I understood what was going on for the most part.
Yeah.
But there's still like, oh, there's two random characters from the Union that are doing bad shit because he can. Like, it just didn't make sense in some parts. But
Yeah, and it definitely wouldn't make sense if you hadn't watched the show.
yeah, I
Or
mean,
at least you understand like the experiments and all that kind of stuff in the show. You know who like the characters are to some extent. I'm gonna wait till this show is over, then I'm gonna watch it.
the thing is, I feel like you kind of need to watch this to understand a lot of the shit they're talking about in the show.
I just don't understand. It's fine. I just let that sing. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Like they're
works.
playing basketball in this episode. What else do I need to understand? It's a sports anime now.
Yeah. I mean, I will say getting to see M22 is kind of interesting.
Who?
The M21's bigger brother guy.
Where was he?
He was in the OVA.
Oh, okay. Yes. The bald one, right?
Yeah, I was talking. I'm
Yeah.
still talking about.
I thought maybe you were talking about the post-credit scene that I didn't watch.
No. He's just still there. He just walked away. Just
Yeah. Good episode for a filler, but yeah, I mean, if you
Yeah.
missed this one, your life wouldn't be over. You just need to remember that they lost their memory. So if they come back in the next episode,
yeah. That and basketball. Apparently, he's not as good as he thought he was.
well, I mean, to be fair, he's playing against a bunch of, I don't know what to call them all. Some are vampires and some are
Yeah.
experiments, physically superior experiments. So I
That's
feel
a
like
good question, actually. What do we call them? So
I don't know. Listen, he was gonna go for a dunk, and once again, they show dunks too much in basketball anime. Considering I don't know how many 16-year-old Japanese kids from schools can actually dunk.
that's why it looks cool. It's because it's something they can't do normally.
We had like 6'5" guys in our school that couldn't dunk. I'm assuming maybe they don't play with regulation nets.
Maybe.
Because a regulation net's like 10 feet tall.
I mean, we don't even know if Japan has the same regulations as us for basketball.
Yeah, they might not. I don't know. Japan doesn't have a big scene in like the NBA, right? Like normally you have like one or two players every generation move over to play for an American team. So it wouldn't be that surprising if they didn't play with regulation nets.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it for Noblesse. As I said, if you missed this one, it's probably not the biggest deal. Maybe just tune in for the last couple minutes to watch their memories get erased.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what happens next week. And maybe next week we'll get the clue as to where the hell they're going to go.
Yeah, I hope they kind of pick it back up because it's been
I mean,
kind
they'll
of more
have to pick it back up. We only have so many episodes left.
I know, but it almost feels like it's been more filler than
What are they?
substance.
Watch them just use filler for the rest of the season, and then the very last minute, like a cliffhanger for the next one.
I mean,
be like, now the show's getting started.
If you're gonna do your first mediocre anime, I guess go full hog and go full mediocre.
Yeah, except for then you're risking never getting another one.
It's Crunchyroll. They can just decide to make another
Yeah,
one.
I guess. I feel like it still needs to perform decently well.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Next up, we have Wandering Witch episode 8, and the title's Dolls and Hair.
It's called The Ripper.
Okay, I could have guessed that one too. This episode was what I'm gonna call a cuck. They made you
Yeah.
think at the beginning you're getting a dark episode, and like,
I mean,
listen, I've never felt so cucked as to when they said that the Ripper has taken the lives of 4 women.
Yeah.
And then partway through the episode, they're like, she realized that it just means the hair, and she's like, oh, hair is the lives of women. I'm like, That's shallow. What the?
It's based on an old proverb, I think.
I know, but who would phrase it like that as the detective saw this is taking the lives of 4 women instead of being like, yeah, cut some bitch's hair. Like,
I think this is one of those things where it's a verbal pun almost.
Maybe. I don't know. Listen, I'd be mad if I was nearby and I was like, whoa, 4 women have died. Like, no, just their hair got cut.
To be fair, if you were in this town, you'd probably know that.
Listen, not only that, but the dolls are pretty nice. Imagine if she woke up bald. Like, it took all of it. Like, it scalped her.
I mean, you're not wrong.
But, like, the fact that it still gives her, like, a cute little anime girl haircut.
I mean, yeah, the fact that they even, like, styled her hair and she had, like, a little bob cut, it's like, okay, that's actually kind of nice of them.
But, yeah, so, I mean, I was cucked by the fact where I thought we were going to get a dark episode, people dying. Obviously, I was really hoping for a red herring. I was hoping for the mystery to not be as obvious as it was. Now, like, they show the dolls right away. They're obviously weird. Then they show the doll maker lady giving out the dolls for free. Obviously weird. Yeah. And then as Elena walks out, it shows this chick just staring at her hair. I'm like, okay. So, like, either this is just like, hey, I don't give a fuck about the mystery at all. You guys are going to know who does it the whole time. You're just going to watch the main character find out. Or I'm like, or they're going to, like, red herring us, and it's actually going to be a twist to who's doing it. Yeah. But it wasn't. They were like, nah, it's exactly who you thought.
Yeah, even right to the end, where she's like, we can't necessarily say they're all evil. They don't know how they're getting the hair for this. And the guy just comes straight out and says, yeah, the person who's been going around just randomly stealing people's hair. Yeah, this was made by them.
Yeah, and she's like, oh my god, it's hard to help you guys right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I wanted it to be a dark episode, and I just feel like I got baited at the beginning, being like, okay, we got evil dolls killing ladies. I was like, this is what I want.
Well, I mean, like, you had the creepy ass dolls everywhere, and everyone's like being really weird about them, like walking around petting them, and it's like something is fucked up in this place, and she just doesn't.
I mean, to be fair, there's not actually a good reason as to why those people are so fucked up. It's not like there's not like a spell or anything. Those people are always fucking weird. They like their weird dolls. That's it.
I just don't get it. How can an entire country be infatuated with dolls?
Because all the lady's doing is she's using the magic of her dolls to take human hair to sell in the black market. The human hair dolls would sell for more. When realistically, all these people in this town are obsessed with dolls. You could probably just fucking ask people to donate their hair to make dolls. And, like, they'd be like, yeah, fuck, of course. I love my dolls. Like, yeah.
The thing is that she's overtly doing it because she wants to see them be upset that they had their hair cut off.
I know, but how often does she see it? Like, this is obviously a special occasion because Elena finds her. But how often are people, like, going to her, be like, look at my angry face that my hair is stolen?
I mean, she'd probably just see them on the streets. Like, she probably targets people who came into her shop.
Just weird. I mean, she's obviously the character is supposed to be fucking crazy. Because then in the end, I originally thought they were gonna trick us at the end when she tells Saya, and Saya walks up getting obviously mad, and I thought it's like, okay, they want us to imply that she's mad because she like harmed a hair on Elena, but I thought she was gonna like trick and ask for any Elena hair that she maybe kept or something weird.
I honestly wouldn't have been surprised.
That's what I thought they were gonna trick us with that a little bit and give us a little bit of a laugh at the end, just being like, do you have any left, any extra, like just a strand, just one strand. But yeah, I don't know. It was another episode where I was like, okay, like the show is still now. It's been like what 3 or 4 episodes now of what it's exactly what we expected from it. After they subverted our expectations and did something that we didn't expect from it, and now I'm just still confused at the tone of the show.
Yeah, it's kind of all over the place. Like even the name of the quote unquote villain from this being the Ripper, like. I can't be the only person who gets Jack the Ripper vibes from this. No.
Anytime anyone uses the Ripper, that's what they're going for. Like, streets of London, person, can't be caught, killer going around, and that's why I was so mad when she's like, when you learn that the phrasing of has taken 4 women's lives, I'm like, and their hair's their life. I'm like, I get that that's like a proverb or something. I was like, but like, I'm just mad now. I wanted women dead, and I wanted it now.
Out of context quotes.
I wanted anyone dead, to be honest. I just wanted that darkness.
Something a little bit higher stakes than, some people got unwanted haircuts.
Yeah, and I also knew immediately that like Elena would just use magic at the end to get her hair back. Yeah. I was like, yeah, maybe like if we have an episode that this is the kind of show though where you could watch any episode for the most part out of order and it would probably work. There's maybe a couple things like you'd have to at least watch the episode where she meets Saya, for instance. That's the only one I'd say.
Yeah, so you'd have to watch the first 2 episodes in order.
Yeah, if you watch the first episode in order, you can then watch all the other ones out of order, and it would still work.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you technically have to watch the Liar City one before you watch this one, just to get the context for the necklace.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But like, it's very small continuity things.
Yeah. So, and I was just like, I don't know. And like, we didn't do the double episode thing now. Like sometimes they're doing the 2 two different things in the episode.
Yeah, which I don't mind if they're doing something a little bit more substantial with the main part, but like this just didn't do it.
No, it's such a weird show. I know there's some people that watch us who they want us to talk about Wandering Witch, and I'm still watching it each week, and I'm like watching it out of curiosity, especially because I'm like, what are they doing? Like, I'm so confused. Like, when this show ends, what's going to be like the thought on the show? Like, what's going to be the overall tone? Like, what was the point of the show when this ends? Because like they've swapped it now so many times that I just don't know how to really react to it.
This isn't like a decadent second episode huge tone drop. This is, we don't know where we want to go with this almost.
Yeah, like we were expecting a light anime, but then episode 1 was a little more emotional. There wasn't like, it wasn't dark or anything. It was just emotional.
Yeah, it just gave more depth. It wasn't the shallow light, like, ooh, I'm going to travel all over the place using magic type show we thought we might get.
Yeah, we got a lot of emotion, and then the second episode, same thing. A little bit of a mystery element. It wasn't too big of a mystery though, and then a lot more emotion. And then after that, you start getting into episodes that had like this like secret darkness in them, and you're just like, oh, okay, like I'm liking this. Like we built up with a lot of emotion, and now we're all of a sudden getting this darkness in the world. Like we're learning about these countries and how like a lot of things suck. And then it's been like that. Then they took like a little bit of a dip for an episode, being like, yeah, fun episode. Then back to dark episode, and now it's just been like 4 consistent ones or 3 consistent ones of just like the last episode was also, we talked about this last week obviously, but the last one was weird, as in like it was one of those episodes that's like trying to teach you a lesson, but it split into 2 parts and both the lessons were the same. And
yeah, just because they live across the road from you doesn't mean they're a dick. Basically.
Yeah, and then this one wasn't trying to teach you a lesson at all. This one was just like a tale to watch. Like there was no lesson to this. What, don't steal hair? Like
yeah, I was expecting something dark or something. Even just doing something with like the creepy ass dolls everyone was so obsessed with. Like, are their lives so shitty that they need these dolls to deal with it? But then they just made a joke out of it at the end with the auction, just like, oh yeah, here's a life-size person doll. Here's a doll in a bunny suit. It's like, what?
Yeah, and then there's really no like downside. Like even the girl who's doing it, like she's not really doing that much. What's she gonna get charged for? Like how long is she gonna go to prison for?
Yeah, because like when you start looking at it, it's like, yeah, you like breaking and entering 4 times.
Yeah. Well, technically, 5. If the doll was there to begin with.
Okay, theft 5 times. Okay. But even then, when you look at it, it's like she wasn't doing it for the money, because if she did what she said, she donated all the funds to the poor. And if you went to the people who had their hair stolen, it's like, hey, this person made these really lovely dolls, which they're going to be on board with to start with. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like if it wasn't for the fact that she wanted to get emotions out of people, she could do that exact business legally by people donating their hair. It'd be the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just because she has a certain fetish with people showing their different emotions on their face, which I'm sure has something to do with crafting a doll's face or something. I don't know, but.
I mean, probably, yeah, because even her doll was in sync with her when she was talking and acting. So.
Yeah, she obviously doesn't get enough sleep either. The bag's under her eyes.
I mean, God. Yeah.
But yeah, there was no lesson to the story.
I mean, I almost wonder if this is a comment on fetishes, because I feel like that came up a few times in the show.
Probably, but I don't know. It was almost exclusively doll fetish. Like,
yeah, like,
I don't know if the creator of it was just like, man, I sure hate people with doll fetishes. Like,
I feel like he was taking a dig at like figure collectors or something like that.
I mean, maybe, but you don't see me walking around with my Zorro figure in my hands, petting him, be like, "Good Zorro, let's go pick up some bread, Zorro."
I'm sure there's somebody who does.
I'm positive there is. There's some weird people out there.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I'm still, as I said, I'm still gonna watch it each week with just a curiosity to see if they end up going. In the last couple episodes, each time, like, okay, like the next one is the one where they're gonna go dark. Now I don't necessarily think that way. I'm just watching to see if they do it again. It's not like I'm no longer expecting it. But I'm just wondering how the show's going to end.
Yeah, it's kind of a wild card at this point. We just don't know what we're going to get.
Yeah, as I've expressed a couple times before too, is like my dream for the end is still to see some of the places again, and just see like what's happened to them since the last time we saw them. That's like the dream, to be like, okay, like since she rode through this town, like she's going to ride back, or people that are happy with what happened. Like, let's say we go back to the one, for instance, where the wall fell down more recently. The wall's falling down, and all these people are now at each other's throats. Like they hate each other now. Like they had that little while where there was like the unknown, and they were like, hey, maybe we could be friends. But now actually, you know what? They hate each other. They got 2 different religions on the 2 sides of the walls. They fight.
Yeah, they just forgot about that whole time. It's like, oh, right, we worship this god. Go fuck yourself.
That's why we hated each other. I thought it was just because we were on the opposite side. But it's like, no, but you love this god. I love this god. So now I want to stab you.
Which, I mean, that just means we get another episode where she teaches them that religion doesn't mean anything. It's
but I just want something like that, something to show off, get a little bit deeper. I mean, something that might build Elena's character a little bit.
Yeah.
We've pretty much had episode 1, where her character was built from being like this super confident girl thinking she was the best until kind of being broken down a little bit during her training. She still kind of came out of that with the belief that she's the best.
I mean, yeah.
But at least like we got to see her go through something a little bit. Since then, it's really nothing's affected her character. Nothing's affected her really. We're just watching either her effect on other people or just other people being affected while she's there.
But we've seen her get disconcerted maybe twice.
Yeah. And then, say that she's not going to help and doesn't help sometimes, or say she's not going to help and does help sometimes, depending on the situation.
Yeah, or she sees something really fucked up and just goes, oh, okay, and then walks away.
To me, it seems like she only gives a fuck about witches. I'm sorry. Like, every time a regular person has issues. Think about it. She helped the one witch fight the dragony thing. She helped this witch find the culprit. That was mainly because her hair was stolen anyways, but still.
I mean, like, even with the witch fighting the monster, it was very, very much like she gave me a place to stay. I'll help her. And at the end, when she's insane sitting at a table alone talking to people, she's like, I'm just going to leave this
alone.
I've helped
enough. I'm like a one help kind of witch. I can't help twice.
Everybody gets one.
Yeah. I'm just curious to watch to see what happens to the show, see where it goes, see if we're going to get darker again, see if we're just going to keep going up in light, and see how it ends. Is this going to be like a one-season show? Is its end going to be like a cliffhanger? Is it just going to be like an end that you wouldn't... Like, same thing, like watching it out of order, maybe you're not even able to tell the end is the end. Like, maybe you could fit that in anywhere.
Yeah,
They're not going to actually...
The show itself is vignette style, right? So I don't think they could really do a cliffhanger unless they do something major in the last episode.
Yeah, unless there's like a big something. Or, I mean, even like maybe she finds out about her mom or something like that, but...
It's like, wait, you mean my mom, whose name is Nike?
My mom, just do it Nike, is actually Nike the whole time? But yeah, it was still enjoyable to watch. Like, it's still enjoyable every single week. I just want, like, this week I felt like I got tricked because I was like, here it comes, the Ripper. Wow, shit's getting real in this one. Ladies being murdered, thank God. And then all of a sudden it's just like, oh wait, it's just about hair.
Yeah, I mean, I can appreciate subverting expectations, but there's a time and a place.
Yeah, hopefully, maybe one of the future episodes will make us think now again. Maybe they've just been building up some time to hit us with that dark one where it's like they've now subverted our expectations back. They're gonna come up with like a light story where this is like a friendly story again, and then it's gonna be like, oh, actually now women are getting murdered. You know?
It's like, have you heard the story of Timothy the baker? It's like, oh no, does he make nice pies? Like, yeah, out of people. It's like like some shit like that. Like, just subvert the expectations the other way.
We could use a good eating people arc in the show. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. If
you can't tell, I watched Sweeney Todd recently.
Okay, yeah. The one about a time-traveling barber. Yes. So, next up on the list, we're going to be talking about I'm Standing on a Million Lives, Episode 8.
Non-player killer.
Okay. This one comes from, they just got out. The end of the last episode, they're like, hey, I think we should split up.
Yeah.
And then in this one, they're discussing why they're going to split up. Basically, half the party is going to see if they can find any goods. They're going to hang out around the town, see if they can find goods of some sort, like a wagon going into... Yeah,
specifically, they're going to take the main road, try and find a village with something going to the town, and then...
Yeah, maybe buy those goods off them to then deliver it to the same person they were going to complete the quest somehow.
They don't even have to buy it. They just have to go with them.
Yeah, I guess. I guess that's kind of a little cheating, but they would probably work, I suppose.
It says deliver the goods. It's like, hey, would you like some free bodyguards?
Yeah, that's true. And then the other half, of course, wants revenge on the Knights of whatever the hell they're called, Dione or something like that.
Knights of Dione, I think.
Yeah, they want revenge on them and to save the people who are going to be executed there. The sacrilegious folk.
Yeah.
And then they break up into the party is the main character, the fire witch lady, and then now I remember her name Cavill. I remember her name last week. This week I couldn't. And they're obviously going for revenge because Cavill, it was one of her men who died.
Right.
And even the main character seemed to have more of a relationship with him than any of the other side characters.
Kind of was like, I pushed a wagon with you twice now. It's like, yeah.
Those are bonds.
Yes.
Can't be broken. And then basically though what happens is they're like, hey, I realize that they sent this letter off ahead of time. So if we kill these guys, their kingdom now is going to attack your kingdom because they know that you're knights from this kingdom, and they're going to start a war.
Yeah.
And they're like, they got 10 times the troops we do, so we're fucked if they start a war. So they're like, okay, we need to make it so they think that your kingdom isn't involved in this at all. You guys are dead. So they kind of concoct this plan, and then most of the episode is just them doing the plan, and it literally ends with them finishing. And then we're still kind of left in the air about if this is going to actually solve. I think because they show the other party only one of the times the episode, and they're like, we still haven't found anything.
Yeah.
And they're like, I wonder how the other two are doing. And that's about all we see from their side, looking for wagons and carriages and stuff.
Oh, we've been traveling on the road all these days, and we still haven't found anything. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly. The plan is kind of complicated, but also not so complicated.
Yeah, there's a lot of glaring holes in this.
Yeah, it was a lot of prediction based off characters they don't really know. The heroes come over and say, hey, like all those knights died. They're not just, implying that they're obviously not involved in this at all. So now we're mad at you guys, or like,
yeah. Well, it was that and like, oh, the other heroes are dead too. Now we're pissed. It's like,
yeah, they're like, yeah, now we're pissed, and then like they leave, and then the one comes back like, I'm actually not pissed. I'm actually pissed at him. So like, come with me, and I'll show you where he sleeps so you can kill him. And they're like, no, we don't trust you. We'll leave one man here to guard these people. And then they go with her, stab her, tie her up. They come back, and then he's there with the one guard on the ground saying he killed the people there, which wouldn't make any sense to them. He's like,
he's just like, I killed them because I'm angry and I want to fuck you over, and this is the best way to do it.
Yeah, the plan was very strange. Didn't really make tons of sense, but I guess in the end it got what they wanted to. He rescued the prisoners, maybe to take them to the town and just meet up with the crew again. They're going to take
him to the town. But my biggest problem with this is that he's like, we'll pretend like we hung them, and then we'll kill this one guy. And then it's like, okay, couple problems. First of all, if they ever look at them, they're going to notice that they were just empty sacks you burned.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sorry, I don't think you have fire that hot.
Well, that's why he wanted to pull the guy away long enough, because even if they realize it after, like if they go back and realize it after, it still implies that they've been tricked, but it doesn't imply that the kingdom still didn't help them anyway.
Yeah, but if they assume that they lied about that, why wouldn't they just assume that they lied about the knights and their friends being dead?
I mean, they could. They even mentioned it. They could just choose to start war anyways. Like, I guess it's, if anything, it's lowering the chances of them doing it.
I guess.
Because there's not 100%, because they've already met the knights there. They've already had this kind of thing where there's a chance now that they could attack anyways. They're like a warring state. They're always chance they want to go to war anyways because they can beat the other place.
I mean, they are, like, they're the empire of Dion, so.
Yeah. Nothing crazy. As I said, I'm just like, I thought we would be done this whole like arc by now, like this mission.
I think it's going to round out the season.
Think so? Because this is 8, 10, 12. Yeah, if we're getting, I don't know, 3 more episodes at the least.
Yeah.
What I think that's possible that maybe we'll spend the last episode in the real world.
Yeah, one last episode to capstone and set up the next possible season.
Yeah, that's definitely believable. I don't know. I wasn't super impressed by the episode. As I said, the plan was like cool, but it was kind of convoluted and like, I don't know. It was one of those things where they didn't tell us the plan, they did it, and then after they explained it, and even when they explained it, I was like, oh, that's still kind of stupid. Like, there's so many. I could have thought of plans with 10 less steps that would have done the same thing.
I mean, my big question is, what the fuck did Cavill do during that whole thing?
Yeah, I don't. It's just she did nothing. Like, she literally left. They haven't even met up with her again, or did they just meet up with her at the end?
I think she wasn't even with the hostages, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm assuming they're just meeting up with her at the end. Like, she just couldn't be involved in it at all in case being seen.
Yeah, but I mean, there's still ways that she could have been involved in.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe in case even if they found them in their secret cave, if she was there, then they just would have killed them. And I don't know. The whole plan just didn't make very much sense. Yeah, it was like I guess it did exactly what they wanted to, so they perfectly planned it out. But yeah, to me, there was a plan with 10 less steps that would have got them the exact same results. As some of they took a life at least. I guess it was the whole point. They at least killed one person as revenge, and the other 2 got to go away and explain. If anything, the smartest part of the plan was, if anything, the main character said it, so the one guy would be so embarrassed that he wouldn't tell the king at all. That's like the part that's stopping the war.
But he still has to explain, like, hey, those prisoners you told me to deliver, yeah, I don't have them anymore.
He could just lie. He could be like they were just being delivered to be executed by someone there. He could be like, yeah, they were delivered and executed. Like,
and then what happens if they caught? Like, I feel like a story of you executing someone in a foreign country would have some sort of confirmation system.
I don't know. We don't know enough about the world. We don't know about the king. He might not even question. He might not even ask.
There's a good chance he doesn't even fucking know about it.
Yeah, they might have just found them while they were doing their own thing, went there and executed them. The king's just like, yeah, you do your own work. Like, good job out there. Good hustle.
That is true.
Yeah, I don't know how much more they're gonna do with these last like 3 or 4 episodes in this one little arc that will make this very entertaining. But I'm excited for the season to be wrapped up to kind of get our final thoughts on it when it is over. Because like I'd have to kind of relook at the whole thing as a whole, not like episode by episode, just to figure out exactly what I feel about it. Because it's a little more complicated.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts here that I don't think fit together the way they wanted them to.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the big thing we're supposed to take away from this is actually in the title, and that's the penalty he suffered for killing someone, which it shows him lose, what was it, a level 2 and a half?
No,
2 levels?
It was 2. He went from 9 to 7.
Yeah, so we don't know how much exactly that was.
That's not. If he would have got to 10, though, he could have got another class. What a waste. Why would he not just get Cavill to kill him?
That's what I was saying. Like, Cavill could have been hiding in the shadows, walked out, stabbed the guy, and then they come back and see their friend dead.
Because there was no reason to burn the dude alive though. That's what didn't make any sense. He could if anything he just risked it by the guy still like moving around. At the one point he had to like, kick him. If Cavill would have came when that guy was gone, killed the leftover soldier, they come back and he has all 3 of the people dead. You know, instead of burning him, he could have pulled the mask off the guy who actually killed, like push him towards him and be like, look, he's dead, and then pissed him off and ran away. They would have followed the exact same before finding out the prisoners were there. Like it just.
I feel like it was just trying to be darker and more theatrical, and they didn't need it.
Yeah, it didn't really make any sense, and like you didn't need the main character to lose. He did say that he's like, well, I was mainly just curious how much I'd lose too. So maybe it was like his test, knowing that he does explain to the one girl that like they're gonna have to kill people. Like he explains it. He's like, oh, you know, it's like their lives or our lives, right? So he's like, yeah, we're gonna have to do this more. So that might have just been his test to figure out exactly how much he will lose.
Which, I mean, I think 2 levels per kill is a pretty crippling penalty.
Especially since like 10 is the one where you rank up, and that's like the most we've ever seen him get to. Because do you get to 10 and then you reset back to 1?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe we're learning a little bit the world a little more. Maybe like he'd had plans that were so smart, 1,000 IQ, we couldn't even see them.
I mean, hopefully.
But yeah, I don't know. Okay, episode overall. I'm still just excited to see where the show goes in the next end of the season part, because I just don't know if they're gonna really clean it up by the end. Because I feel like we're taking a long time on this part that isn't very interesting. It's a long chunk of the anime season, like of this anime that like I don't really care about. Like their mission of taking things to that place is just like kind of boring so far.
I feel like we're supposed to be a lot more invested in them rescuing the prisoners than we are.
Yeah, but we don't care about the prisoners.
Like we haven't established anything other than they had a religion that got a little too extreme. Now they're going to be executed. It's like, oh.
Yeah, it's like that sucks when people are executed for something that's not their fault. But I mean, like we care more about the character's journey than we do about these people, and I don't know. It's just like we don't know exactly. The whole like mission thing is so. Even the main character acknowledges that it makes no sense most of the time. Like they're given no information about it.
Yeah, the main character even said like we don't know what our quest actually is. Like they just told us to go kill a goblin, not a specific one.
Yeah.
Find 2 villages, not 2 specific villages. Then ask some random schmuck village leader what problem we could fix. Like he even said, like it doesn't matter what they actually do as long as they do something that fits those parameters.
Yeah, it's just the mission's just something to do. It's not all ending to a certain goal. It's just more of anything just to like it could be any village in any part of the world. If they walked all the way over there, they could have done that. It might have just taken longer because not all. Well, I guess all of them had a time limit in a sense.
Yeah.
So that's even though they're like, yeah, it's free to be anything. But if you put them somewhere where they can only make it to one village within the 7 days they have, it's like, okay, it's like that's pretending to be like an open world, but secretly being linear.
Yeah, but I mean, when you put everything into the context of what he said, it kind of makes everything feel like the show is just one big side quest.
It's true. But yeah, my laughable part is like he mentions, for instance, he's like, oh, it just said kill a goblin. He's like, but in this other area, in this other continent, there's these different goblins. I'm like, yeah, but if she only had fucking 2 days, she's not making it to the other continent to kill the different type of goblin. So the game's tricking you into thinking you have choice.
Yeah, this isn't fucking in another world with my smartphone where you can just tactical strike someone on the other side of the planet.
This is like all games now, tricking us into thinking we have choices when we don't.
Yeah, true.
Real commentary. Yeah, I don't know. Overall, okay episode, but yeah, I don't know. A little bit of an edginess for the point of being edgy, like in the burning people and like trying to light the horse on fire and stuff. Yeah. What did the horse do to you?
Just wanted to be a dick, I guess.
Yeah, they could have just smacked it and let it run away too, and it would have had mostly the same effect.
Yeah, but then he couldn't say I lit the horse's ass on fire.
I guess that's the other reason.
Like, there's even the fact that when he was talking about the plan, he had just had the big generic evil guy smile on. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Like, aren't we supposed to be rooting for this guy? At
and
this
they're
point?
like, oh, that face, so evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to see in the next episodes what the hell the actual objective was. Like if they're going to decide if the slaves were the goods or if the other team's going to find goods to take and then they just did the slave thing for fun. Or not the slave, but like the sacrilegious folk for fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost willing to bet that they're going to get to the town with them. What is it?
Radadoboro or something?
Yeah. They're going to get there. They're going to find like a secret sect of that religion. They're going to deliver them and then they're going to be done. It's like, oh, problem solved.
Okay, yeah. There we go. And it was all a bunch of thought for nothing.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to trivialize the whole thing, I think.
Yeah, definitely likely. I guess we're going to have to wait to see. No matter what, we're too invested now. We're going to watch the show to the end. And then if it ends up being a trash fire, then, we got one more story to talk about.
True.
Okay. Next up on the list is Don Machi Season 3, Episode 8.
Bell Crannel / The Fool.
Okay. So, last time we leave off, they let what's her name, Ween, go through. She got up to the top of the city.
Yeah.
The Soma family attacks. Bell steps in the way, implying that
Loki, not Soma.
Okay, sorry. The Loki family steps in or attacks. Bell steps in the way, implying like, oh shit's about to get real. Bell is now outing himself. Their whole familia is going to be, everyone's going to be against their familia, all this kind of stuff because he's defending a monster. And then this one starts off real quick with him being like, no, this is my prey, you know? Trying to think, quick thinking, being like, okay, like, and they're like, yeah, like, adventures, you know, if they see them first, they get to mark that prey. And the dude's like, this ain't the fucking dungeon. Like,
yeah, even Finn was like, this is kind of a dumb time to do this, dude. Like, there's a monster on the surface. Calm down.
Yeah. Let's be honest. So most of this, I always like to give a quick description of the episode first before diving into deep details. So Belle's chasing Ween for 90% of the episode. We don't really see it. Most of this is the different Loki familia fighting the fucking Tauros thing.
Yeah. There's a few other monsters scattered in there as well, but yeah.
Yeah, it starts off with the Loki familia fighting all the other ones we know, like Lead and the Harpy and like all the
the Gargoyle and all
Gargoyle guy, I can't remember his name. And then they're all witting, obviously, because they're high level, and we're like, fuck. And then actually we forgot the most important part. It starts off with it just killing dicks. I mean, or at least implied that it's killing, like a lot of blood.
Believe me, I was gonna bring that up. I just wanted to save that for the more in-depth part of this.
Yeah, implying that it killed dicks.
Oh, he got fucked.
So like that's like you're like, okay, like that, quite the start. That guy who's like our main villain of the season is now gone.
I mean, because he killed him kind of off screen. There's a chance he'll come back like missing an arm or something. But
yeah, like he could be hidden, but like extremely injured. But that was the start off, and we're like, yeah, we keep liking this Tauros thing more and more. Yeah. This thing's kicking ass. And then right when all the monsters are getting their ass kicked by the Loki familia, that's when it shows up to the surface. And most of the episode is a fight between him and the different members, which is obviously fantastic. And then the end part is just Belle finally catches up right in time to be attacked. They fall through, and then, Ween dies. Sad. We are all sad for this. You know what? I think this was the one I was thinking of. The music in this episode kicked ass. They had fucking some great music behind.
They definitely dialed it up.
And then because like the music getting real big while Ween dies. Ween slowly gets Thanos snapped out. Like I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. I'm sure there's got to be an I don't feel so good, Mr. Bell meme out there somewhere, right?
I mean, give it time.
If there's not, I really would like there to be. And then she dies, and then Fells comes in. And he's just like fucking magically bippity boppity boo, and then she's back to life.
Yeah, which I mean, it was kind of interesting to see her say, like, this is the first time this has ever worked. It's like, really, bitch?
Yeah, so it's like, I've tried, they're like, I've tried this a bunch. I think the implication there's like, he had like some sort of magic, like extremely powerful, but like didn't know what it did.
I don't even think it was that. I think it was just the spell never actually worked properly.
It's probably going to be like, it required fucking unconditional love or something the whole time, and only Belle's unconditional love is powerful enough to fuel the spell.
I mean, probably.
I was figuring more like it was such a specific spell. Like this spell is only used to bring friendly monsters back to life. And it's like, when has he ever had the need for that? It's always tried to be like, maybe this spell will work. And it's just never worked. And then finally it's like, this is it. This is the spell. Yeah. It's like you get a spell, but you're given no spell description. You're like, well, what do I do?
Yeah, or it's got some bullshit components. You don't know what it is. In this case, it's like Tears of a Hero or Tears of a Fool. Or
yeah, you need a mix between a Vivra jewel headpiece and Tears of a Hero to really, and broken spear to make this spell work. He's like, I've got all of these things. But obviously she lives in the end, and that's about as far as we get to.
I do want to note, I was actually kind of surprised. A small part of me expected them to bring her back as a human.
Yeah, but that would kind of ruin the point.
I know, but like I still kind of
the small part of me was hoping she stayed dead. No offense to her, but like the very first thing to mention, we haven't talked about most of them yet, but this week was a pretty, I'm not going to say sad, but it was a kind of sad anime week. There was a lot of shit going. There was actually, I don't know, like, if we count all the ones that were, if we count characters we're unsure if they're actually dead, or something like Weenie who didn't stay dead, there were some character deaths this week.
Yeah.
So there was this was a big sad moment when she died. The music was getting real loud, it was getting real good. Belle was all sad. It looked fantastic, but more importantly in the episode, that Tauros fighting people.
Yeah, that was. I will admit I'm a sucker for the Loki familia. I like a lot of the characters there.
Yeah. But are you still glad that they all got cucked for the most part? Like,
oh my god, yeah, seeing them get their asses kicked is a nice, refreshing.
It's so good. They all think they're so cool, and like and then they're just like, You know, she goes to hit him. He just fucking blocks it with the horn. The only one, obviously, he had to fight them all, and then he fought Eyes, who way too powerful.
I mean, that's kind of her entire purpose.
Yeah, so she literally, the very first attack when she goes down, cuts his arm off. But he's an absolute fucking beast anyways, and he doesn't give a fuck. He then like literally keeps fighting her. It's starting to become a little bit more matched. I guess the first one was more of a surprise attack. But yeah, the one part where like she's about to like cut his head off, and he fucking turns his head and blocks it with like the horn, and then swings around like, oh, this thing's dope. New favorite character.
Oh god, yeah. Don Machi has always had some really great monster fights. Mm-hmm. Like Bell versus the Minotaur, and
I know, but I was cheering this time for the Minotaur the entire thing.
I know, but I don't even know how to say it because it wasn't a fight you wanted Eyes to die because that loses a lot of Bell's motivation.
I didn't want any of the characters from their familia to die, but I also didn't want them to win. Like there was not a piece of me that wanted any of them to win, no matter how much I liked them. I'm just like, no, I don't want any of you to win. I need you to like. Especially even like then when they realize like, oh, okay, this is not one we can take alive, so like kill him. I'm like, no, don't kill him. No, nope.
Yeah. I mean, even because we don't know if this guy's operating on the same rules as everyone else where he's trying to be non-lethal or if he's just kind of fucking shit up.
I would definitely guess he was being non-lethal based off the fact that I don't think anybody earlier died. No, listen, there's definitely a few broken ribs going around. I'm pretty sure even with the very first two people he fought in the Loki familia, which was you're probably gonna know their names way better than I am.
Beat and Tione.
Yeah, he just kicked them into the wall. He like dodged an attack and then just like kick her elbow and then just smash into the wall. I'm like, all right, you got a few broken ribs now.
Yeah, wait. Was it the one who was fighting barehanded or the one with the Urga?
Barehanded first.
Okay,
he knocked both of the platinum haired wolfy guy.
Yeah,
he knocked both of them in the wall and then he fought the girl with the big the Thanos helicopter blade. Yeah. And she's like, haha, I can beat you with this. And then no.
Yeah, which I think we have to go back a step here because there was the fight before that. First of all, they established that the goblin, like the little goblin dude in Belmet was level 4.
Yeah.
So the goblin was stronger than Bell.
Well, I don't know if that's true. Maybe monsters have different levels than people.
But she compared it directly to a level 4 adventurer.
Yeah, I guess.
And then there was the freaking adamantite golem that she like got one shot.
Yeah. And listen, when she flicked to that bunny... I was hoping, I was like, you know what? Never mind. Kill this member. How dare you?
I mean, she could have very easily just beaten it. So
yeah, but at that point, they were told not to kill any of them.
I know, but
she probably wanted to. That psycho bitch. But yeah, I don't know. It's just so cool. There was a couple hints we talked about before. Who was it? Hermes? No. Who said that they? No, it was the blonde kid. Who said they recognized the Minotaur?
That was Utaro, the king.
Was it?
The guy standing behind Freya.
Oh, yeah, it was him. Okay, yes. So where the hell did you recognize it?
I'm pretty sure it's implied that this is the reincarnated version of the one that fought Bell.
I was going to say, because that one died.
Yeah, but this whole thing's been about reincarnation, remember? They talk about how they remember their past lives.
But when would that guy have seen it?
He was the one who gave that Minotaur the sword that then fought Bell.
Okay. Well, yeah, maybe then. I was because I was trying to remember in the episode. I was like, well, who recognized him again? I was like, I recognize that one. I'm like, how? Like, they all looked the same.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And what the blonde guy Finn did was he said, "I've got a suspicion something's going to go down, so you stay." He
also did get a name in this episode. I just don't remember what it was. Someone mentioned the Minotaur's name.
Yeah, I know. I just can't remember it, and I hate myself.
Yeah, I know. That's because it started with an E. I'm almost certain. I can always remember what names start with, but never what they are. But yeah, he was just so cool. It was, and obviously lost an arm. That sucks. And then last minute, he's rescued by the person from I'm assuming the Hermes.
Yeah,
we've seen her before. Yeah, we've seen her before dealing with Lily, dropping all the smoke bombs.
I feel really proud that I remember all these names, by the way.
But you don't remember the Minotaur's name, the main character of the show.
I am so goddamn sorry. There's one I don't remember.
But yeah, she comes in, she drops all the smoke bombs, and luckily our boy escaped, so he's good. He's a little armless, but he's good. We still haven't seen him talk or anything, so we don't know if he's one of them non-talking ones. But
yeah, they mentioned that he was smiling at one point.
Yeah, while he was fighting. He likes a good fight. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. And then, obviously, we get to the dramatic part. Belle is following Ween the whole time. A couple adventures, being dicks, still getting in the way. He keeps shooting off fire bolts at them. They're like, what the fuck, dude? As he's, shooting fire bolts off.
I feel like someone would have called him ahead on this.
No, that's my kill. And then he gets, they get trapped in, the arena, and then they all shoot their lightning bolts. Breaks the ground. No, they don't break the ground yet. They all shoot lightning bolts, and then she's not dead. And then the fucking spear pierces the chest. And then there's the one guy from the Dix Familia blood the whole side. Like, I did it. He's like, I got her.
Yeah.
And then it's really sad. They fall through the ground. They land. Belle fucking takes the most of the fall. Seems like a waste to me. Thing was much bigger.
I mean, it's kind of what Belle would do. You have to admit.
Yeah. And then Belle tries putting on the crystal back on the forehead at the end. Helps a little bit. I think it did something. So if only he could have done that earlier. I don't know. I don't know if it actually did anything or if that was just like the right before death.
I think it's implied that was supposed to be what gave her reason back.
Well, Belle should have got that thing on her earlier then.
I think he was trying to. It's kind of hard.
No. But yeah, so then, Weene's just like, hey, she mentioned it before in the episodes about her dream, where she's always crying, no one helps. She's like, but someone did come help me this time. And then she gets Thanos snapped away.
Yeah.
Then Belle's all sad. And then Fells comes out and uses his bippity boppity boo spell.
Yeah, the good old Deus Ex Machina.
What was it called? It was like,
oh my god,
Dia Op, something along.
Dia Orpheus.
Yeah, that's what it was called. I was like, I remember Orpheus because Persona.
It's the tale of someone who went into hell to get his wife.
Yeah, so big lights come out, and then Weene is brought back in regular Weene form, butt naked, of course. Anime. And then that's.
I think something that's actually kind of important to note about that too is Hestia looked at it. It's like, is that a god returning to heaven? It's like, no.
Yeah, she's like, no, like that's it. It must have been close, but at first glance. But then you're like, no, that's not it.
It's like, did she just like rip a soul out of heaven or something? And
and then we got some different perspectives of different characters seeing it and being like, Nani or
like,
what's
what the fuck?
Yeah, so this is only episode 8 though. So where's the plot going to go for the last episodes? Is it just going to be solving this monster human thing?
There's definitely going to be some fallout because even at the end, Elena was talking to Belle. It's like, so I hear you caused a lot of shit over a monster.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's going to be dealing with the fallout with that for at least an episode.
Yeah, because he at least did enough where he could definitely still play it off. Like he could still be like, no, I was just going after that. It was my kill, my monster.
It's like, hey, you saw me fight the Minotaur. I go hard when I go after a monster.
Yeah. I don't know. We got to get more about the Minotaur. Don't remember his name, sadly, but we got to get more of his plot because he clearly knows the other monsters. He's a part of their society, I assume.
Yeah, because there's going to be getting any monsters that were captured out of being captured. There's going to be.
We need the actual resolution with Xenos in general. Like, where are they going back into the dungeon?
They're not going to give us a hard resolution. They're just going to find a place for them to live in the dungeon and just seal up that fake dungeon. So
maybe they'll get like the 17th floor. Like they recently took it over. Maybe it'll be like a monster place where humans can also go down there and they can like interact without fully submerging them in human society up in the upper ones.
The problem with that is that you'd still have to get the adventurers to be chill with dealing with monsters and not wanting to kill them.
Well, the adventurers are in their home, at least in that situation. They own the dungeon.
But they're still able to just go in and kill them if they want.
Yeah, but then Minotaur Boy will come out and fuck them up.
Yeah, then they just stick fucking Eyes, Finn, and Garrett on them.
Yeah, I think that I feel like if they get to the point where you're not supposed to attack them, then only the dick adventurers would be still trying to attack the monsters in that specific area.
True.
And then those people wouldn't help them if these adventurers are actively going out and being assholes. Like if they come to some sort of resolution with the humans, but obviously the humans aren't ready to fully trust them in their city. But it's like, hey, only the good adventurers are going to be on the 17th floor anyway, so maybe some of the monsters can live on the 17th floor, like the good ones.
Yeah, the problem is that most of the humans don't know that the monsters are intelligent at this point. Like, even the ones that were capturing them apparently didn't hear them say anything.
Yeah. So, yeah, because even to be fair, I don't think they talked. I think, because while they were, the one chick was fighting, Lead, for instance, and they were, fighting them, but none of the monsters actually spoke in that part.
Yeah.
He didn't even spoke. I think he talked in his head at one point. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes because his mouth doesn't move when he talks.
Yeah.
But I don't think he actually spoke out loud to them there. Else maybe they would have been, maybe they would have been surprised that the monsters talk. I don't know.
I feel like anyone would do a double take if this creature that normally just roars at you suddenly said, hey, chill out.
That could have been an advantage. And then while they're surprised, kill them,
I don't think they were trying to kill people either.
No, they weren't. They were just trying to get up there to help Belle. And then they didn't even get to fucking see Belle by the time they're out. Belle's already gone.
Yeah.
Good episode. As I said, the music was a big standout. The music of when she was dying and then when she was coming back to life when he's using the Dia Orpheus or Orpheus, whatever it was. Fantastic. But yeah, I don't know. It's just we're going to have to see how the season ends, though, because it's either all going to be all resolution or there's going to have to be a second conflict that comes in, maybe a mini conflict.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do something with the Loki familia.
Mm-hmm.
Just as you shot a firebolt at us and fucked our shit up.
Yeah, as I said, now openings aren't always sometimes things in openings happen, sometimes things don't. But in the opening, we do get the Belle crossing swords with Eyes So we might get something a little more of a Loki Hestia conflict.
Yeah, which I mean that might just be from when the Loki familiar was going after Ween, or it might be something more. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
But
either way, I'm excited. It was a good episode.
It was
very emotional. The music got me hyped. You know, I would put that on.
I'm actually surprised because normally you aren't the type to go after the music.
No, I mean like, and I wouldn't be able to be like, oh yeah, this I liked this part of the music. I just remember. Because if music's done right, it's not supposed to be that noticeable in a sense. It's supposed to just fit in perfectly, and it fit in perfectly to match like the emotions, what was going on in the scene. But I'm not someone who could be like, oh yeah, I loved when this exact part played here, and like I couldn't tell you anything about the music at all. I just know that it fit in with the scene so well that I was like,
okay.
Yeah. Because I just feel like a lot of anime hasn't been using, like I don't know, like using music well in anime these days. I feel like is more something for like animated films.
Yeah,
a lot of anime episodes. Like I can't think of anything else on this list that would have used like a very dramatic music. At least in these ones, I'm sure Fire Force has done it a few times.
Yeah, but even then, most modern anime they're relying more on like a J-rock background.
Yeah, but like the big ones I can think about, for instance, is like Your Name uses music crazy well in that.
Yeah.
So that's like something. I'm thinking like the high-end anime movies use music very, very well. It's not like J-rock. It's like emotional music.
Yeah.
And then this episode did that. So I was like, oh, that's why it stood out so much.
Yeah. All I'm saying is that a lot of the time, especially in shonen or series like this, you tend to get more of a very basic, low-key music background.
Yeah.
Just to kind of amp you up for a fight.
Yeah. So they have some sort of backtrack in the background. A little bit of like electric guitar or something in the background while they're fighting.
Yeah. That or you get a character theme song.
Yeah. But it not only used music well, but also like the volume. There were certain parts of the volume was really high in the music. It was almost it was like louder than sometimes like when they were speaking, because like there was barely any speaking lines in it, and then the music got like louder and louder until it built up to when he used like the Orpheus server was, where it got like really, really loud, and it was just done well. And that was the important part. But yeah, that was Don Machi season 3 episode 8. Excited for next week. It's probably, I mean, it's not gonna be filler episode. It's just gonna have to be resolution.
Yeah, it'll be resolution and a little bit of cooldown.
Yeah, give me more of the Minotaur, though.
We're going to see something with him.
That's all I can say. Okay, next up, King's Raid, episode 8.
Memories in the Eyes.
Okay. Episode. Shitty. Okay. No. We talked about this before. I think someone commented on the most recent episode, too. So we complained a lot during the Cleo.
Yeah.
During the Cleo character episode. And we're like, because it's one thing again, right? So instead of it's like an adventure anime where these group of characters are on their way to do something. We get that a lot. You can think about frickin' Pokemon, Digimon, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Where you don't get one episode necessarily. Okay, maybe in Pokemon and Digimon you did a little bit, but those were also made for like 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
But you don't always just get one episode being like, hey, this is a character. I'm going to give you all their information in this one episode. It's more like you get little things about them based off their actions and what they're saying and stuff throughout like their whole adventure. And so far in this show, when it's like, hey, we want you to know about this character, well, you can have this one episode, and like that's it. You get no main story in this, but we'll tell you about this character.
Yeah, here's an info dump. This is their motivations. This is why they're here. This is what they like.
So we got, and like the thing is too, the thing about, because like once they showed the Cleo one, we were both like, that wasn't a good episode. It was like a completely show don't, or it was like a tell don't show kind of situation. They just they just tell us everything about like why this goes on, and like I don't know. The whole point was like the episode kind of sucked, and we didn't really learn or like her character anymore by the end of it.
Yeah, if anything, I felt a little bit less.
Yeah, we liked her less after that, and then when we saw that, we're like, okay, listen, like don't do that again, show. Obviously, we don't get to decide what they do.
Yeah,
but we're like, we hope they don't do that again. Yeah. And we even mentioned like we want more about the Dark Elves. And even like the Dark Elves, though, their character is done better than these characters, because like we've kind of been told a little bit about, like we know why people hate them.
Yeah.
But we still that episode we learned a lot about some of their characters without seeing any of their past.
Yeah, they didn't just say this is this guy's name, this is what he likes, this is why he's here, this is this.
Yeah, like that ham guy. I still don't remember his name.
I feel like I want to say Bam, and I know that's wrong.
We obviously know the type of struggles he's had just based on the fact he's a Dark Elf. We know what happens to Dark Elves, but they haven't told us why he's involved with this, how he started. But they're showing us little parts of his character and be like, okay, like I like this kid now, like he's not I'm just going to use the term racist in some sense, where he actually like he still sees like there's some humans that he likes or trusts, and he's starting to get happy that maybe some of them can like and trust him, even though he's a Dark Elf. We're seeing these little parts of his character, even the main Dark Elf. We obviously know something bad happened, like their mom and stuff like that. But like we're still seeing little parts of his character whenever he is introduced. But then after that episode, we just get into this one, which is like, hey, you know Frey? Well, if you didn't, now you will. Here's your character.
Even then, I don't think they gave us that much information about her.
I don't think there's that much to give. Well, all that's implied is that she sees a little girl at the beginning with these eyes. And then later it's shown that like those are the same eyes that when she first met Castle he had. So it's like eyes of someone who like lost someone they loved or like who's been through something. And she like doesn't want people to have those. She wants to help them out. And that's like what the episode's about. So I don't think anything in her past was particularly dark. I think if anything, she just met Castle when she was a kid and was like, oh, this kid's seen some shit. I want to help him. And that's how she's just grown up as that ever since.
Yeah, I mean, I guess giving the idea that she's very much a helpful person who wants to heal people's, I guess, character development.
Yeah, it's just we could have learned, like we could have already guessed everything we learned in this episode. We already would have known just from what we've seen of her character so far.
Yeah,
and if not, we could have learned a little bit more. You know, at one point she could have talked in like an episode about like the first time they could have been like, "Oh, how'd you meet Castle?" And she could have mentioned it while they're walking to this town about how she met him, and maybe made like a subtle mention about like his eyes or like his sadness or something like that, and then continued on. 2 episodes later, they talk about something else, and like you do this a little bit at a time.
Yeah, I mean, even this, they could have adapted this a lot better. They could have had her meet the little girl with those eyes, do something with her, and then as they're leaving, talk about Cavill's eyes when she met them.
Yeah, it feels honestly like formulaic, like a Pokemon episode, where it's like the whole episode goes through, and then at the end you just get this one quick demon attack just to continue the story of that part. It's like, hey, we need one attack here to show how this character's grown. Since it just feels so formulaic. And it just doesn't fit in very well at all. It's happened constantly now.
Especially the part where she gets locked in a shed and she's like, I could break out. They probably don't want me to damage the door.
Yeah, it's and like, then no, we need to wait till you break out till your moment,
Yeah, and even that, I think the only thing we actually got from her that's new is she used like a projectile attack,
energy bolt or something,
which didn't even do damage from what I saw. It was just like a stun.
It stunned him, and then he cut its neck.
Yeah,
the whole demons now are just attacking whenever they're needed for the story kind of thing. Like
it wasn't even a demon; it was a big fucking worm.
They're implied demons later. Like when they went back, Cleo said, "Oh, so demons attacked you? You should have called us." So it must be a demon worm.
But I mean, like just because something wants you dead doesn't make it a demon.
They're all demons. If like a spider attacks you, that's a spider demon.
I mean, so what? Like a mosquito's now a fucking demon?
Yep.
Like, God damn it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just. To me, it's just like, I don't know. I liked the Dark Elf episode so much after the episode I didn't like, but then we just went right back into an episode I don't like again. And then so help me God if we get the Roy one next episode.
Yeah.
Which we either will or they'll take one break from it to finally get us back to the main plot of them going to the mountains.
Yeah, we'll probably...
Or they're going to be like, well, let's get the last character out of the way before we get into the rest of the plot.
Might as well.
And they might honestly think that based on what we've seen so far.
Yeah, because over 3 episodes, we've gotten 2 of the characters down and then 1 Dark Elf episode.
Yeah, so there's a very good chance next episode. I guess I should have watched the next time just to see what it would have been, to see if I'm going to be
did you watch the after credit scene?
No. But as I said, they did show the after credit scene from the last episode at the beginning of this episode. So
I don't think they actually did.
I did, yeah. I saw him come back, and he was he turned from a skeleton to a hot boy.
Okay,
so,
right.
Yeah, so they showed. What was the after credit on this one?
It's the same guy basically just talking about how he wants to destroy everything.
We could have guessed that.
I mean, yeah, very, very 2-dimensional, but
yeah, I don't know. Listen,
like, why write deep characters, right?
As I said, I want this show to be good because it was another one of the shows where people recommended it to us in the comments of our earlier ones before this season.
I think I know what the part of the problem is. I think it's because they're adapting a video game. In the last 2 character episodes, I feel like they're taking like the support conversations from Fire Emblem
and putting them into one episode.
Yeah, and trying to force them into one episode.
They're like, let's take their B, their C, their A, all their support ones, just put them all in one episode.
Yeah, we'll make like the Cliff's Notes version, and then have that be the episode.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not working for me, especially because like we've lost now the main plot, and even like when we're on the main plot, it's like the main plot episodes are okay, and then the ones that aren't about the main plot are kind of bad. So I'm like, when are the good ones? Like, where's the good episodes?
The Dark Elves.
Yeah, that's about it. And that's all. I don't want to see even the plot about them really unsealing the sword now. I just want to see more about like how the Dark Elves are going to take over the city, while also watching if their resolve is going to be tested by maybe they won't want to take over the city once they've kind of gotten to know some of these humans. And like, I don't know, that's the interesting part. The rest of it's kind of shit.
One of a few things is going to end up happening with them. They're either going to take over and go, okay, we got rid of the corrupt government, let's live decent lives now. Like, they're just going to turn out to not be racist at all and just like, yeah, we're just going to make this a better place. Or they're just going to go cartoonishly evil and undo all the character development.
I think they're going to split. I think some of them are going to be like an inner struggle, like that one guy who seems like they haven't given him any character growth. He's just like aggressive. Yeah. It's just because he's going to be like, oh, you can't fall in love with humans. They're fucking disgusting. Look what they did to us. And it's going to cause like a rift in their group.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
But anyways, that's the plot that matters more to us right now. And like, I don't really care so much about. I'm still excited for them to see orcs. I just want to know what the orcs look like.
Yeah, I know. We still haven't actually seen a goddamn orc.
Too much character development again first.
What? I don't. She didn't even develop. That's the sad thing.
She was nice before the episode. She was nice when it finished. It's like we weren't surprised.
This is like a really convoluted training arc, so she could get a projectile attack.
Yeah, which I don't know what I guess maybe that's useful. But yeah, then even like Castle each time just hops in to use his big sword attack to kill the demon that shows up.
Which, I mean, the fact that he's one-shot them is kind of trivializing this.
Yeah, he stabbed one and it insta-died, and then he cut the other one's throat and it insta-died.
Yeah, like, I understand you can't show, like, the standard turn-by-turn combat where you just keep whacking them, but...
Well, the thing is, it's the issue, and as I said, is because, like, these demons aren't actually important. They're just a quick plot device to, like, show a character growth, like, to show that character growth that happened in the episode. You know, like that's it though.
Yeah, it was the same with Cleo. It was just a reason that she had to use fire magic, but she wouldn't because old lady said no.
Which was stupid. Just like how in this one, it was the monster attack at the end. There was the second one was the reason for her to break out of the shed, even though she should have done that to begin with. Just like how Cleo should have used fire magic to begin with.
There was enough of a fucking gap in that door too. She probably could have just stuck something through, popped the thing off, and just opened it.
Yeah, probably. Instead of taking the knife to hit, she could have just put the knife underneath, lifted it up, and put the bar up. But listen, maybe she doesn't know science, and I don't know.
I mean, she is a cleric.
Yeah, that's true. You can't believe in both God and science, so yeah. Once again, nothing surprising. It was about maybe I liked it a little bit more than the Cleo episode, just because I like her more than Cleo.
I mean, even then, she's very much I want to say Mary Sue. She doesn't have a lot of personality.
The only thing I liked about the episode was at the end, I thought when like they're talking about the whole beginning part of the episode was about the cookie. They made like a bet. They don't talk about what the bet was, but they made a bet.
Yeah, they just hold up a bag.
They had 3 cookies and they made a bet, and whoever got it wrong didn't get a cookie, and she was the one who didn't get it. Or not Frey, but Cleo was the one who didn't get it.
Yeah.
At the end, I thought she was going to be nice and split her cookie in half or something, but then she didn't. I was like, oh, that's at least good.
Yeah.
You know, don't give that bitch what she wants.
Yeah, she learned not to spoil Cleo, which I guess is something.
I guess that's the character development we're looking for. But nothing insane about the episode. It's still one of them character ones I'm not digging. Hopefully, we kind of get what happened last time, and they put it to an episode I do like at least before we get to another one I don't.
If they show another Dark Elf episode, I'm almost dreading it because
it's too like their formula.
Yeah,
like character Dark Elf.
Yeah, so we're gonna get a Roy episode after that, and I'm just gonna not enjoy it.
Yeah, especially because this is probably gonna be a 25 episode anime. That's been our guess, right?
If they're gonna actually finish their story, yes.
Yeah, but we don't know if they are. Maybe they'll stop like as they get to like the Orc Town, or there'll be something in the Orc Town.
If they end this show before they actually show an orc, I'm gonna be pissed.
Listen, you might just be pissed. Then we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I don't know. It's been okay. Like there's been times I've enjoyed it, and there's been times I haven't enjoyed it. But it's starting to seem like the episodes are either okay or they're bad.
Yeah.
I would like it more if there were good episodes, okay episodes, and bad episodes. Just having okay and bad. Like, there's never that episode I'm like, fuck yeah, this episode.
I mean, I will say the Dark Elf episode was probably the high point of the season so far.
The Dark Elf episode was the high point. I'm trying to think of, like, my second favorite episode. Maybe in the forest, because I like the little Trent thing, but
yeah,
that was about it.
Yeah, the episode with Chibi was probably one of the better episodes, but...
Yeah, but even there, that was probably only an okay episode. That was...
Yeah, it was above average. It seemed better because
some of the other ones were shit, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to keep watching it. We're going to keep looking forward to it, hopefully, each week. And you know what? A bright side, there's only one character left for them to do, and then they have to stop, right? So.
Yeah, but then the elf's going to show up, and we're going to get her episode, and because they keep showing her in the opening too. So.
Yeah, that was still the surprising that she didn't go with them.
She's just going to roll up she's going to be at the Orc Village. It's like, you guys know there was like a really quick path, right?
Yeah, you guys know you didn't have to take all that character development path, right? Like there was this really fast one right here.
Yeah, it took like 3 hours. Like it's right next door.
Yeah, she's going to show up at some point, but I feel like if anything, it's just like she's supposed to probably join them before they go for their final mission to fight the Demon Lord or like that, but I don't know. And this is a show I probably would have dropped if we weren't talking about it, but now, once again, I'm 8 episodes in. I'm too invested. Even if I don't like it by the end, I'm going to watch it all the way through.
I mean, I will fully admit I've dropped shows later than this. So
I probably have too. Not like purposely, just like it would come the week and I'd be like, well, I'm not feeling this episode tonight. I won't watch it. And that just keeps happening for a few weeks until I'm like, oh, I'm 10 episodes behind. Well, it's too late now. Yeah, nothing crazy from this one, though. We'll keep talking about it, though. If you found something in this episode you liked, or if you have an opinion on why we're wrong with the character development, it's actually done really well, let us know. As I said, one of the reasons we started talking about this is because there were people that wanted us to watch it.
Yeah, if we're missing some like major character underpinning here, just let us know. We'll look at it again. But
yeah, I mean, we're always interested to see other people's opinions, especially if it's something that if you're out there being like, King's Raid is my favorite anime of the season, and we're out here shit talking it the whole time. I'd at least be curious as to how our opinions differ. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
Which place do we go wrong, or more importantly, which place do you go wrong? Because our opinion's right. Okay.
Yeah, tell us what you like so we can correct you.
Yeah, exactly. Next up on the list, probably the bigger one of the week, is Jujutsu Kaisen. So we finished off last week with a nice episode, crazy good visuals, learning about the domain. And then this week we go into that one episode filler just before we get into the school arc, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It's not really filler. It's more introduction. We have to meet some characters and stuff before we get there.
Yeah, which I think the episode title really says it all.
What is the episode title?
It's episode 8, and the title is Boredom.
Boredom? Who's bored in it?
You remember the big Jack dude?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. So the main point of this episode, we don't see Itadori at all.
We see him at the very end.
What's he doing at the end?
He's standing outside with a guy with glasses we haven't met before.
I think he's the guy who brought them on that one mission. I just think he changed his hair or something.
No, it's not. It's a different guy.
Yeah, because they're going to the movies. They're going to the theater.
Yeah, he's going to the theater where they show.
So we're not getting started on the tournament arc then, because we have to get whatever this arc is done first.
I don't think they're going to do a full arc on this. I think it's going to be a quick little like introduction to a different character.
Probably. Well, we already know which character did it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, so it starts off. Most of it is the Megumi and is it Takashi Megumi? I think that's his name, but I don't know. I definitely know it's Megumi. Someone commented that last time. I was right. And then the girl. Don't remember her name at all.
I knew it and I just totally forgot it.
Hammer girl. They're in charge to go get beverages. They're going to go get the snacks during the training. And then someone's like, the panda guy's like, "Oh, are we sure that's a good idea? Like, the principal from the other school is coming today." And they're like, "Yeah, like the principal was one of the part of the people that like pretty much planned to get Itadori killed." It's like, but he doesn't care about those two at all. Like they're just regular students. It was all for him. And he's like, "Well, it's not the principal I'm worried about. It's the people coming with him." And she's like, "Oh, fuck, right." And then it literally just shows them, getting their beverages, and they're met up by two people. One's this super jacked dude with the scar on his face and the ponytail, and then one is the girl who's supposed to be twins with the other girl, but twins in anime.
I mean, I can see why they're saying that. Like a different hairstyle and different outfit definitely make a huge difference in anime.
But anime, for the most part, you could probably just take one person's hair off, put another person's hair on, and they might be twins anyways.
I mean, that's
how an artist draws a face is typically in either male or female. That's mainly
you
it.
just basically described Moe art style.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, so for the most part, it's this Jack dude, and then it's this girl who's twins with the other girl that we've met, who's training them.
Yeah, which I want to note that the twin girl very much gave me Medusa vibes from Soul Eater.
Yeah, she had the same kind of attitude. She had the vibe.
The same curves, the same outfit.
But yeah, they are from the different school. So even though she's sisters, they're from the other Jujutsu school. Who the principal's coming here to talk to the principal of this one. And then we're getting two different perspectives for the most part in the episode. We're seeing there's one part where there's Gojo Sensei, and he's talking to the principal. He's like, he purposely told the principal of their school the wrong time so we could have a conversation with him. And he starts just by shit talking him for like, the whole like Itadori thing, which is good. And then the girl, I do like that girl though, who's on the side, who's like, "Hey, that's disrespectful." And then it's like in her mind, she's like, "Holy fuck, he's so hot. Can't believe I'm talking to him. I'm gonna ask for his autograph later." Yeah,
she just did not give a fuck.
Yeah, and then so he's just basically shit. And once again, this guy from the other school, that's just the first, or the captain of the 13th, I think, from Bleach.
Yeah,
the fire one.
Just the most generic old dude in charge of spiritual fighters.
Yeah. So it starts with Gojo Sensei mainly shit talking him about what they did to Itadori, kind of leading in a hint there that he's not dead, but I don't even think the guy picked it up.
Probably not, because he probably assumes like, I was told he's dead, therefore he's dead.
Yeah, and then after that though, he goes into more about like meeting the other special grade cursed, whatever the hell they are. And then he basically goes into talking about how like there's been almost like a revolution where now the students are getting stronger and the other curses are also stronger now, and like calling them the special grade is no longer good enough because they're like beyond that.
Yeah, because he specifically implied it was kind of their fault.
Well, yeah, but it's like anything. It's like anytime something changes, there's a reaction that equals out. My favorite reference to this is the Force in Star Wars. A lot of people, unless you read the Star Wars comics and know more like the background lore, the Force always naturally balances itself out. Yeah. So that's why for instance, if someone becomes a Sith, normally then the Force will give birth to a new Jedi to counter that Sith to try and keep it balanced. Right. So like in this, if all of a sudden students are getting stronger, it's kind of like the which came first, circle the egg, right? It's either the curses are getting stronger, thus the students have to get stronger to be able to fight them and balance it out, or because the students keep getting better, the curses have to keep getting better to balance them out. So either way, he's implying that special grade now is too vague of a term. He's like, listen, he's like, now that can range from like, you know, the different ones that he can like easily fight to these crazy good ones, and like, you know, sending students out to fight a special grade might not be the smartest idea, because now it could be, you know, it could be one that they can take care of, because we've even seen later on the episode they talk about that Jack dude, about how like a year ago he fought and he defeated 2 special grades and then a bunch of the regular ones.
Yeah, I think it was 1 special grade and a bunch of like A grades.
Yeah, so and it's like, yeah, but like, you know, which level of special grade was that? Now there's so much more. So I think we're gonna get eventually a terminology beyond special grade. You know, extra special grade, superior grade, something.
At some point, they're just going to up the ante. They're going to come up with a new grading system, I think.
Yeah. So that's kind of what that was leading to, I'm pretty sure. And then, yeah, more importantly, though, we get the Jack dude comes in. He's like, hey, I got to ask you a question to Megami. And he's like, yeah, okay. He's like, what? He's like, depending on how you answer this question, I'm going to beat you half to death. And he's like, okay. Like, and then he's like, you know, what's your type of woman? A classic question. Yeah. And then Megami in his mind is like, okay, he's like, listen, he's like, this is a stupid question. This guy's a dumbass. He's like, but if I don't answer, he's going to fight us. And like, hey, you know, my partner there, she's like unequipped right now. She didn't come with any of her stuff. He's like, so I'm just going to answer the question. And then he's just like, what did he say? Like a woman with like strong character.
Yeah, like a woman with unbreakable character. And then they do show him like reference someone in his mind who I'm kind of curious about who that is. But
yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
it's probably going to be the reason he became a sorcerer.
Probably. But yeah, so then it just shows the guy crying, and he's like, I knew you'd be boring. And then, yeah, he's obviously super fucking strong. So we like fucking, at one point, he's like smashing him through a building. Like,
I think he did that a couple times.
Yeah, even Megami asked at one point, he's like, oh, are like the rumor's true that like you don't even use like curse energy? And he's like, no, those rumors aren't true. He's like, I just only use it on like, you know, the grade A ones or above kind of thing.
He specifically said, I use it on that special grade one. It's like, oh, okay then.
Yeah, so he only needs it. He only uses it when he has to. And the whole point is this guy, he keeps referencing someone who he wants to fight, who I think is a third year from their school.
It's either a third year or a fourth year.
It wouldn't be a fourth. I'm pretty sure it's the third year, because the whole reason the first years are taking part in this one is because the third years are busy.
Right, yeah.
So I think he's the third year is probably supposed to be like the best one at their school, at least in the first 3. But since he's busy or he can't be there, this guy's obviously mad that he doesn't get to fight his rival. It's going to be like his rival character. So he's looking for someone that'll be less boring to fight at the thing. And then literally, like, yeah, Megami's getting his ass kicked, and then, but at the end, he's like, oh, I haven't really been taking this serious. And maybe it implies he's going to do what he was going to do to Sukuna, whatever the hell he had getting ready there.
I don't think that's it, because I think with Sukuna, it was implied that he was going to do like some sort of like life-shortening technique. Well, I think this was just him getting ready to bust out a technique he hadn't used before. Yeah,
so either way, he looks like he's just about to get started, but then right before he does, Panda comes in, punches the guy in the face, and then you get, more importantly though, you get the rice ball guy comes in. He has the zipper undone. He says, don't move to the guy. So when he has the thing down, he can talk normal. It seems like some sort of like command though, almost more. And then when he pulls it back up, he can still only say the ingredients in a rice ball.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably because if he says something normally, it automatically forces people to carry out the action.
Yeah, I feel like there's different ways around that than using onigiri ingredients, though.
I mean, yeah, but it's probably something to do specifically with the hood to stop him doing it by accident.
Yeah, so that was interesting, and then obviously at the same time you had Hammer Girl getting into a fight with Twin, who uses a gun.
Yeah, which I mean that's kind of an extreme jump.
Yeah, I mean their fight also sucked compared to like this guy's like punching him through buildings, like tossing him, kicking him. We didn't even
see a fight technically.
Yeah, all it comes up is she pulls out her gun at one point on her while like having her like a chokehold, and then when it comes back to her next, she's like, "Oh, you shot all these holes in my new tracksuit," and she's like, "Because of that, I'm gonna take your dress." But then she's like unconscious on the ground after that, and then obviously the sister shows up and they don't really fight.
Yeah, well, I mean, her trying to take the dress was after that.
Yeah, so it's like she's like laying unconscious on the ground. And then the girl's like, oh, she's going to, beat you up. And she's like, she can't. She's unconscious. And then she gets up and gets her in the chokehold on the ground. And then she's like, yeah, you put all the holes in my tracksuit. I'm going to take your summer dress now as like a, and then it looks like she kind of has her in that headlock the whole time until the Jack dude shows back up. And he's like, okay, let's leave. I got tickets to go see this idol for like a hug or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, because remember, he specifically said his type of woman was a tall woman with a fat ass.
Yeah, he did. Good for him, though,
I mean, it's good to have a type.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually on his side. I think that Megami's answer was boring as fuck. I feel like he just had to. If it was Itadori, they would have bonded right there for sure.
Who was it he referenced in the first episode?
It was Jennifer Lawrence.
Right. I feel like you just would have given that as an answer.
Probably. What the hell show was it? There was references this week to more shit, and I don't remember what anime it was.
Wait, references
to more anime or shows, but now I don't remember what it was.
I feel like it was this one because I feel like they do that all the time. But
I know, but they also do it in Tonikawa, for instance, too.
I mean, Tonikawa was just one big reference.
I don't remember. Someone referenced something specific, and I was gonna write it down, and then I didn't, and now I forget.
I'm willing to bet it was one of the Tonikawa references because they reference everything every episode.
Yeah, probably. Oh, it's gonna bug me. Either way, yeah. So anyways, he shows up again. He like stops the fight, basically being like, "Hey, I have these tickets to go see this idol, and I don't want to risk being late. We don't know how long the transfer is going to take on the train, that kind of shit."
Yeah.
And later we do get to see that too. We see him get the beam from the idol.
Yeah, which I mean, it is kind of nice to see the other side of a character.
Yeah, I mean, he's not evil. Obviously, he's still a good guy. He's he's just like,
yeah. I mean,
he has his opinions, and they matter a lot to him.
I just realized I think we got more characterization for this guy than we did for Freya in King's Raid.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's just sad.
We know way more about him. He's a deep character.
Yeah.
And then basically how the episode ends is we see it zooms into like a movie theater, and there's like 3 dudes super dead. Their heads like fucking warped. They're like pulled into like 2 heads at one point, basically.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I know what it was because based on the way the heads were destroyed, pretty sure it was reference to see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Because it was like the ears, the eyes, and the mouth were crushed.
Okay, and then after that, we go to an alleyway where we see the guy who was in the lawn chair in the last episode.
Yep.
He's like stitched together. He's got like the platinum hair, very kawaii. And then he's followed by a kid who comes out. It's like, "Hey, like, are you the one who did that?" He's like,
no.
So I'm wondering where that's going to go. Is that going to be like a?
I'm pretty sure that guy's a student from one of the other schools because it's either the opening or the ending. He's in the last shot of it.
But he's going to be a bad guy though.
Do we know that?
I think so. I think that he's gonna. I think because I feel like you wouldn't come up to him like in that kind of situation, unless
he's just like a meek kid who's there. It's like, if you're a curse, I have to fight you.
Yeah, then I just feel like he either wouldn't fight him at that point if he's like, oh no, he's too strong, or I feel like he's coming up and he's gonna kind of be like he's like intrigued, you know.
I mean, we don't know enough about him. We just saw him.
We
walk
don't
up.
know. That's just
he's got a little bit of the emo fringe and
yeah. My prediction is that he's intrigued and he's gonna become a bad Jujutsu guy. He's gonna join the bad team. That's my guess.
That is possible. I mean, he could be this show's Sasuke.
Yeah, it's true. Where he kind of leads. Yeah, but he's not cool enough to be Sasuke. We already have this show Sasuke, and his name's Megami.
But the Megami isn't as edgy as Sasuke. So
no, he's not. He's more.
They need an edgy one.
I mean, Sasuke didn't start off that edgy when he first came in. He was more like the quiet, kind of an asshole type, which was more like Megami. But then I feel
like he was always a little edgy. I think you just don't remember.
He was edgy once you started getting into his backstory. But for like the first arc, when it wasn't really talked about his backstory, for like the first like 30 episodes, he was more just like the quiet kind of douchey.
I don't know. Was it in the first 30 episodes that he tried to fucking Chidori Naruto or? No. Okay. I just remember
he didn't have that till post shooting exams.
Okay.
But yeah, like then the very final scene is that Itadori and this guy showing up to the theater, and he's like, "Hey, are you sure you want to see this? It's pretty messed up." And Itadori's like, "Yeah, let's go."
Yeah, at this point, I don't think he gives a shit.
Yeah, so I think this is probably. I don't know if this is going to be the show how much Itadori's grown since we last saw him before he gets into the tournament arc. If it's only going to last like an episode or something like that, but
yeah,
it's like implied this isn't just like. This is connected to this guy who's obviously going to be much more of a main villain throughout the show.
He's definitely going to be the big evil.
Yeah, so
I don't think we're actually going to get much of this arc. I think they're going to intersplice this with the start of the tournament arc.
Hopefully, because I want to see this goddamn tournament arc. I want to see people fight. There is also some important parts, as they finally do mention the. They said his name multiple times. Not going to remember. This is the first time I actually used his name. The other guy who was bad. They mentioned that he was a Jujutsu guy and he led like the night parade of 1,000 demons or whatever the hell it was.
The incident, was it 1 or 2 years before?
I feel like it was 1.
Yeah, and that was the one that guy, the big jack dude, got involved in.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
and that's always because if you ever watched, I'm not gonna say one of my favorite anime, but a manga I really liked was the Nura Rise of the Yokai Clan.
Okay.
Because it was like Nuratiyan was like the name of the main character, and like that's what his grandpa's name was, and he led the night parade of 1,000 demons. So they're like the night parade that have a big thing. They'd wander through towns and shit like that. So that was a cool little Japanese yokai history thing about their night parade.
Yeah, because I feel like that got referenced last season in God of High School too, with the Kitsune guy. That was.
Oh yeah, he also had a night parade. Yeah, even though they were like all wolves in that.
I mean, it was a thematic thing, I think. But.
Yeah, but I mean that was cool, and we got a little bit more of his backstory too. But I just want the tournament arc to start so bad.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if they're gonna show something with Itadori doing something before the tournament, or if we're just gonna go into a tournament and him just bitch slap someone.
Yeah, the ideal moment is where he just goes into the tournament arc and bitch slaps someone. You're like, wow, he's so much better than he was. That's like that hypey moment that anime loves. But then I'm wondering like what the whole part of this theater is supposed to really do.
It might just be them establishing this as a bad guy and them just kind of saying like, this is your first crime scene that isn't here to get you killed. So
maybe he's got to just like look for clues and stuff there.
Yeah, try and figure out what the fuck happened here. Go nuts.
Yeah, I'd be interested. I'm also interested once again, as we just talked about, with that kid who followed the bad guy in, because I just want to see where that goes.
Yeah, he might end up evil. He might end up misled. He might just be there to try and fight the dude.
It's true. I just feel like it would have been a different interaction in my mind than if he tried to fight the dude. But I also don't know the character, so it's hard to say. But in my mind, if you're going to fight someone, you'd probably start off a little more aggressive than that.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, if he is someone who's meek and maybe that's like part of his
sounded
power.
more intrigued to me, more curious.
See, I didn't get that, but
yeah, I guess we pick up different things. Good episode. Definitely one of the shows we're looking forward to more throughout the week. Definitely. Also, a show we're probably going to get like a full 25, I'd expect.
I really hope
from
so.
the season.
I mean, this is going to be one of those continuing shows. They're probably going to take season breaks. But...
Yeah, they're like anything. I just want the tournament arc now. I still obviously have to wait for it because we're not there. I mean,
tournament arcs are always very hit or miss. I am hoping it's going to be something good, but again, if they have Itadori show up and then he bitch slaps some like nameless person, it doesn't really mean anything.
That's probably what they'll do.
But the thing is, like, if he bitch slaps a named character, it kind of cheapens it as well.
Well, there's two options. So one is either he just absolutely destroys someone, like a no-name person, to show how much powerful, or they put him into a fight with someone we do know, and it's much more even than you expect. So he fights someone like the Jack dude, and it's like you expect him to just get crushed, but then he actually is like a fair fight, and then maybe even better than him at the one point. That would show how much better he's gotten. But I feel like that's too early to get rid of that guy. We're gonna have to see him in the tournament earlier than that, and then we're gonna have to see him just destroy someone early, but. It could be like that. He destroys someone so fast, everyone's like, "How did he do that?" Like, or like, "Oh, was that like a fluke or something like that?" And then people don't know until like the second fight that he's good.
That's probably what they'll do because the Jack guy's definitely going to end up fighting Megami, and the chick is definitely going to end up fighting Hammer Girl. So
one of them's going to lose. I feel like she's going to lose to Hammer Girl and end up having to fight her sister. Or no, she's going to beat Hammer Girl and end up fighting her sister.
I mean, that would be the ideal story arc, but just once I'd like the Sakura character to actually do something.
Soccer characters don't win, Jimmy. We've
just
already gotten used to that. They suck, all of them.
Oh man.
Yeah. Either way, I'm excited. I don't think we're getting tournament arc next episode. I think they're going to be at least one away.
We'll probably get the start of it
because it's a 25 episode anime. Most likely, it means that it's not as big of a rush to get into these kind of things.
True.
So my guess is next episode, no tournament arc, one after that. Maybe I wouldn't mind if they spliced it in there a little bit, but
yeah. From what I've seen of the storytelling, I wouldn't be surprised if they do like little flashbacks to what he did at the theater throughout, just as they're getting prepped for the arc, maybe. But
maybe we'll have to wait and see. We'll be talking about that soon. That episode comes out on Friday. We'll be talking about it on next week's episode.
All right.
Next up and last on the list is Fire Force Season 2, Episode 21.
Enemy Contact.
I mean, they've already made Enemy Contact by this point.
I know, but there are more enemies. And on that note, speaking of Sakura characters, we got a little bit more on Tamaki this time.
She did something almost.
I mean, kind of. Like, the fact that she even did anything was kind of cool.
So, I have complaints about strength levels of characters.
I know what you're going for.
I'm just saying, okay, that these guys show up, and they're perceived for us to be the same strength levels as Orochi, because they're from the same crew. The Iron, I don't know what his actual name was. It could have just been Iron, for all I know.
I think it was Iron Body.
He shows up to fight the lieutenant and... Maki's brother.
Yeah.
And then the two new guys show up to fight who's there at the time. It would be the two captains, basically. They originally show up to fight Tamaki.
Yeah.
And then the two captains show up.
Yeah. Obi and whatever the seconds.
Yeah. And they all lose so much easier than there's no way you're telling me that Obi shows up and Orochi's there and Orochi doesn't cut him in half. Because the thing is, it's just like she was cutting through the Fire Force armor, no matter how fucking strong he is or whatever his like I'm a normal guy but I have heart. That does not help you not getting cut in half. So was it just really lucky with these guys showed up? We don't even know what they fucking do. They got taken out so goddamn fast.
the one guy went woo and fired a big
like
fireball.
Opened up like cape or something, and fireballs were flying out of it.
Yeah, I feel like these guys were definitely cannon fodder to make the captains look cooler.
Yeah, and like, okay, another question: do you think Juggernaut's dead?
After because they retconned the end of the fight.
They changed that. Yeah, he did not get his arm cut off in the original
before
one.
It was him. He pile drived the bomb into her face straight down.
Yeah, that's why I was confused too when I first watched that.
No, they recut the fight, and I'm pissed about that.
Yeah, because the last one they kept cutting his arm off until eventually he grabbed it with his real arm.
Yeah.
Execution complete into her face. This one it keeps doing it, except for the very end, his arm gets cut off.
Yeah.
And then also his leg at some point.
Yeah, I think the leg was done during the fight. Like that I could accept because you didn't focus on the leg at any point. Mm-hmm. But everything about that just felt cheap because now it was him threw the bomb at her and got blasted back instead of him being consumed by the flames. And I'm just actually... And then they had the big, long-winded speech with him. It just kind of cheapened that whole fight.
And then a lot of it there is Tamaki's motivation there was like, I just want to bring his body back, which is... That's like a standard character thing of like when people die in areas where, it's not very... good to leave their body. It's like I want to bring him back, but you're also in these deadly circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, it's also the fact that he literally died keeping her ass safe.
Yeah, literally, her ass. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Then
and the fact that I'm very worried that Juggernaut is dead and that he's being used for Tamaki character development.
It's possible. Then she's going to be like, I need to get stronger so people like him don't die again.
I mean, yeah, and it's like I would much rather you have died and we keep Juggernaut. I'm sorry, your fan service isn't that good. Yeah,
it's possible he's not dead because it's still anime, but it seemed very much like he's dead. But he could be back. He could just be the new Edward Elric, missing one arm and one leg.
I mean, that is possible. And
I'd give up an arm and a leg to date Tamaki.
Oh God. I mean, you have to remember this is from the same guy who did Soul Eater, and this is the same one where a side character died towards the start of the series, and he just came back as a zombie the next episode.
Yeah. Yeah. So, in shows where like you're not really sure how they're going to deal with character death, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, because this show's been kind of all over the place with that. Like they haven't shied away from showing people die,
but not like important people.
Yeah, like if someone with a name dies, it's a big deal.
They literally in the last episode they kept just giving us names of people before they killed them. They're like, hey, here's his name and here's a little bit of a backstory. And you're like, okay.
It's like, yeah, this guy is gonna get married when he gets back from this, dead. This guy's gonna have a kid when he gets back, dead. This guy wants to wear some new shoes, dead.
Yeah, that was the least sad. But
I mean, I feel like...
You know what? Listen, it's not his fault he didn't have a wife and a kid, okay? He had shoes, and that's all he wanted.
Hey, he was happy. That's all that mattered. But
yeah, they're and then, like, obviously, we haven't really seen a character. They also, in the same episode, they killed off the one guy.
Hibiki.
Yeah, they killed him off just to be like, hey, shit's getting real now. And obviously, killing Juggernaut is like hey, shit is real now. Yeah. But, it's still possible he's not dead. It's not... Yeah,
he wasn't killed. He had his arm cut off and his leg severely
now the
wounded.
show it's heavily implied he's killed. That's the guess that he's not dead is more like a stretch.
It's very much if they bring him back, it's going to be a Deus Ex Machina type scenario.
Yeah, and he's in like the one that's very into weaponry. He's in like the military section of the Fire Force. He can get like a cool gun arm or something.
Yeah, and there's even the fact that like we don't even know what the hell's going on with him because he's wearing a suit of armor that he technically isn't in most of it.
Yeah, we don't know what's the deal with his body. Like so that could be. I still feel like his body thing is more like a running gag than it is like it is an actual canonical thing.
I almost wonder if they wanted to kill him off because they wanted to make the series more serious. They thought they could kill him off to make that work.
Maybe. As I said, I really liked because we didn't know he died. I liked the end of the last episode a lot, even though he was killing my best girl. But even then, like, it's just this episode, I don't know. It cheapened it a little bit. I definitely was confused by the whole like the arm thing.
Yeah, why recut it? Why redo it when you had an excellent fight scene?
Yeah, like, and he could have just died there from the explosion, from the fire, and he still would have been dead. Yeah, without having to cut his arm off first.
And like even just the speech he had with Tamaki, like the fact that they just dragged it out like that for Tamaki character development, I just don't know what to make of it anymore.
But yeah, then literally two new guys of the Purple Haze show up.
Yeah.
Being like, aha, you idiots, what's a powerless guy going to do? Captain Obi just runs through a fire and punches him in the face, and he's literally out.
Which I will admit, I do like seeing Obi do something.
Yeah, me too.
I just like it when he has to work for it.
I like it when it makes sense. Just running through flames to punch the guy, being like, I've trained forever for this. And I get that, but like, you're telling me, though, if it was Orochi instead, let's say the other guy showed up earlier, did all the fight, and Orochi shows up with this guy, her fire sword, so quick the one guy couldn't even see it, would cut through his body. He's got nothing he's not like Tamaki where he has like the flame resistance or anything like that.
I mean, there's a chance that he's got some bullshit armor on from Vulcan or something, but
maybe. But yeah, I don't know. It just seems like I like him. I like Dobie a lot. I always like him, and it's not like this makes me dislike him. But yeah, it's a little bit cheaper when it's just him running through fire to punch a guy.
Like it wasn't even a fight. It was literally just him one-shotting someone.
Yeah, he literally one punched the one guy, and then the other guy gets insta headbutted by the captain of the second.
Which, did we even see what he did?
He does weird things. He's like a fucking pinball. We don't know exactly how he does or what he does yet, but
not the captain, the other purple haze dude.
Oh no, we didn't. Okay. We got to see their face then. He was blonde. That's all.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure another one had a Naruto name as well, something related to Orochi.
Probably. Either way, they got insta knocked out, and then the other part of the episode was the lieutenant and Maki's brother fighting the Iron Guy, which same thing. A lot of it was more like it wasn't a serious fight at all compared to the seriousness of the one guy getting beheaded and then Juggernaut having to fight Orochi to the death while Tamaki's there. This one is they're just talking about this Maki the entire time while barely taking the fight seriously until the very end where the captain or the lieutenant just uses all the weak points to instantly take the dude out.
Yeah, the whole if you can't harden your joints, they'll just shoot you there. It's like, why didn't you start with that?
The only thing that I think could be possible, but I don't think they're going to do because we only have so many episodes left. I feel like they took so much time with the Orochi thing, a full episode dedicated to it, then they knocked out these other 3 in like seconds. I was going to say it's possible in the next episode these people get up and like they're not actually done for and the fight becomes more serious. But I think that they don't have the time for that. I think they're trying to get that over with because now we have the more important fight going on, which is Shinra and Arthur versus the captain of the third.
Yeah.
Who's all buggy.
Yeah, I'm not sure what... The fact that they went with like, I'm using my pyrokinesis to fuse with bugs now.
Yeah, and I mean like, so there's a little bit where they're like, hey... Humans thought that there was like bugs were from space. They came on like a meteorite, and he's like, and then it's also kind of linked to the fact that obviously one of the things that makes Infernals is the bugs. So like there's some sort of mixed research between the two different things. Yeah. But either way, it's like, you know, he was already kind of cool before he had all the mechanic stuff in his body. That was like his thing.
Yeah.
Which was cooler than bugs.
I can kind of see what they're going for, but I mean, it makes him creepier.
It makes him creepier, yeah. But I liked him before a little bit more. I liked his kind of thing. His body being like all like machinery and stuff like that. Now it's instead all like weird buggy stuff.
Yeah, we went from science fiction to body horror pretty quick.
Yeah, and he is like with him showing up. The basic point of the whole thing is revealed though. They're basically going to blow up the Nether, which is going to sink Tokyo. And before they do that though, they want to just get Shinra. So they're like, hey, we're getting into. They baited them in by using like the fake lab kind of thing. They baited them all down there. The necromancer chick's gonna blow up all the Fire Force soldiers that she was given all this like life force, to blow up the Nether, which will sink like most of Tokyo. But they need to get Shinra first though, because he's the pillar, right? So
which my big question is going to be, what the hell do they get from sinking Tokyo? If they were able to do this at any point, why the hell did they not do it if this was their goal?
I guess maybe it's because they're almost ready now. They have more of the pillars now. They're about ready for their final.
But their whole goal was world destruction, which they just need access to, like Amaterasu and like all those sites.
Well, it's they need. It's like they need like the 8 pillars, whatever it is, right? And how many do they have now?
I think they're at 4.
No, they'd be more than 4. They have like 6, I think.
I think Inca was the 5th, so they're at 6. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're getting closer now. So it's like they have like these like maybe like a step process of the plan. Hey, once we get 6 pillars, we're good to blow up Tokyo now.
But the thing is, like, what if they're blowing up a potential pillar? Because they didn't know who the pillars were.
And certainly they would be if they were destroying all of Tokyo, which is where most of the population
and they don't have access to other populations, as far as I know.
Yeah, I don't. Unless they just have like a bunch of extra research subjects they'd keep with them to keep making more pillars or something along those lines.
They can't just make them. You have to find them. That's.
I mean, they kind of made Nataku, right? They just took a bunch of kids, gave them the bugs. Some of them survived. And then eventually that brought out some extra power in them by getting them beaten up by a weird dude.
Like specifically surviving the bug makes you a pillar because it means you're compatible with the Adola.
Well, it didn't mean that he was a pillar. It gave him like better fire kinesis powers, and then it took a lot of tests and that kind of stuff to bring out the other part of it. Yeah, some sort of great distress or something.
Yeah.
Either way, yeah, their plan doesn't 100% make sense to us, but it was also only told. You know, we only got the plan because it was told to one of them. It's probably not the full plan. I doubt they just intend to blow up all of Tokyo.
We also got this information from someone who just pulled out bug feelers. Is like, I can read your mind now.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, the weird like butter moth things that are like, I can pick up pheromones, thus I can read your mind. I'm like, I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah, I mean, then they both have Arthur because like no one could read his fucking mind. So
yeah, that's what it's gonna be. You can't predict Arthur. It's so fucking insane.
Yeah,
that's totally what's gonna happen.
Which do you remember when Arthur just became a joke character?
Yeah, when Vulcan showed up.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it was when Vulcan first gave him the pony head, and it's like, oh, this is silver, like, and then he rode out on it, and
yeah, that's when they just gave up and made him a joke.
Yeah, unfortunately, because I liked how Arthur was more the joke character compared to Shinra, because normally in all the shonen it's like the main character is the Arthur kind of character.
Yeah.
And I like that they made Shinra like serious, like he actually like talks to his subordinates properly, that kind of stuff. And Arthur is more of like the dumb one.
Yeah.
I like that, but yeah, now Arthur's too dumb.
Yeah, and then you have Vulcan, who I liked Vulcan when he showed up, but I feel like he's kind of degenerated.
Well, he's not underutilized too. Like he doesn't really do anything. He just kind of shows in to talk about their tech real quick, and that's it.
Yeah, he's kind of like, this is why this is like this, because I made it.
He's the Morgan Freeman from the Batman series, right? He's just there to be like, here's your new tech. This is how it works. Then he's gone. We're not getting any more character development. We haven't really gotten anything else about Lisa recently.
Yeah.
Nothing more about like the all the shit going on with Amaterasu and his family. Somehow, like we know that now it's built on a sacrifice. Why would his family not have known that? Like there's all this information.
Yeah, like, there's just a lot that they're kind of leaving by the wayside, especially with their characters. And now we've got weird power levels with characters. Like
and that's why I think that they rushed through this episode, because like we got 4 episodes left, and now they want to get to the main shit. Like they want to, but like hopefully they finish off with the Captain of the Third within the next episode, and then the last 3 episodes are just whatever the hell's.
I think they will, because I watched the next episode teaser, and it showed the crown bitch and show.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't show what they do, but they just showed them quickly. So something's going to happen.
And they have to put a stop to the girl's plan, so they have to fight the maid lady too.
Yeah.
Because she's the whole point
Fucking
is they're going to blow up
necrofired.
everyone. Yeah, still dumb. Overall, the episode definitely was not as good as the one before.
I mean, I will still say Necrofire is still better than a lot of the other shit we've gotten.
Yeah, moth tentacles, reading lines, because I mean, it's going to be Arthur's plasma waves that eliminate that or something.
It's going to be he's just too fucking stupid.
Probably, yeah. But I don't know. The last episode was way better. I just loved like the seriousness to it all of a sudden, where like a guy got decapitated, or he got decapitated, and then Juggernaut had to get serious, and the whole like everything looked so good, and then this one was definitely sillier, and then I don't know, just I'm really hoping that they just drop those Purple Haze characters now, and then now we're getting to the serious climax of the show.
Have someone go kill Necrofire.
Yeah, take her out, and
then just have the fight involving Sho. I don't remember what her name is. The crown chick.
Haima? Something? No. Something close to that. I don't remember exactly what it is.
Deal with her, deal with the Captain of the Third, and just get an actual proper story conclusion going.
Yeah, we need a good end of the season. We need a nice cool fight again. It doesn't have to be between Shinra and Sho again, but like something that like show us the reason Fire Force is so cool is because their fights are so dope.
Yeah.
Show us those big, colorful, explosive fights with someone. Doesn't have to be Sho. Just make it like cool.
Yeah, you don't even have to have Shinra go Lightspeed. Just have it be a good fight.
Yeah, have him, show that he's built up stronger since then without his Lightspeed, and if he does happen to get the Lightspeed thing, make him even fucking stronger than he was before, because now he's got Lightspeed, he's got like the finger techniques with the speed, make that all pop off at once.
Yeah, I just realized, what they're going to do with the mind-reading moth tentacles?
What?
They're going to make it so he can beat his Lightspeed. He's going to read where he wants to go and
it's true, but then they will somehow combine Arthur's stupidity to make it like
they'll just have Arthur cut off the tentacles at some point so Shinra can finish him.
Probably. I don't know if Shinra's going to get Lightspeed though while they're fighting. That's kind of the thing.
I mean, we don't know. For all we know, the chick doesn't want Tokyo destroyed, so she's going to give him a blessing. So
maybe it's definitely not as impressive as last episode, because the Juggernaut thing last episode was so cool, and obviously the best girl showed up last episode for that one time.
I don't know what it is with you and Orochi.
She was just cool. That's all. She was a cool.
I appreciate that she was a good villain, and she's a lot better than all the other.
And she only needed to be there for one episode, and that's it. We didn't need to drag her out. She might come in later. Who knows? But
I mean, now that they wreck on the fight, she's probably going to come back.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't. They also didn't show if she died or not. They showed nothing of her after she got hit.
Yeah, because before you saw like her face get crushed.
Yeah. And
now it's just like, oh no, she got flung away by the bomb. So
I would also like to see more Joker in the season.
I don't think we're going to
still to me the coolest episode was the Joker Benimaru episode, and then we got nothing past then. I'm hoping that maybe Joker shows up right at the end with the Nether when Shinra's doing stuff. That would be kind of cool.
He's going to show up as a Deus Ex Machina if he does.
Good.
He's going to show up, fix a problem with Maki probably, because they need to bring her back into the fold somehow.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to let her stay gone.
Yeah, how is she going to come back in with so many little episodes left?
Well, they're below Tokyo. She's going to go down a fucking manhole cover.
Probably. I feel like they would have taken away that access to the Nether, though. I mean, since it's such a forbidden place.
They showed something happen in the Nether and just fucking water come out of a manhole. So
yeah, I don't know. I'm still looking forward to the next episodes because I want to see where they go, and I have high expectations after the ending of the first season.
Yeah.
But yeah, episode wasn't as good as the last one. That's just a fact.
I mean, it was definitely a high point to leave off on. They just didn't know how to follow it up.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to next week. We'll be talking about that next week, of course, like every week, until this is over, which, like everything else, we're getting a little closer to.
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll have since it's a show that we've watched a lot of, maybe we'll have like a discussion on like the final opinions on the second season. But we'll decide that when we get closer to the time.
That's going to be a bit of a contentious discussion.
I know. That's what that discussion has more thought that has to go behind it because there's so many ups and downs.
Yeah.
So it'll be a little bit more difficult to do. But if that's something you guys want, let us know.
Yeah. Or if you want us to spend an episode just trash talking Kingsray, just let us know.
Yeah, let us know that too. Let us know whatever you want. But other than that, though, that's it for our weekly anime episodes. Overall, as I said, there was a lot of emotion in this week's episodes, I think, like especially with like Don Machi and like the Juggernaut thing in Fire Force.
Yeah.
It could have been done better, but it was they still had like this more emotional week. There were some highs, there were some lows.
Oh yeah.
Pretty average week overall, I would say. There was some good, like the Haikyuu episode. You don't watch it. Haikyuu episode was really good too.
I'm working on it. Okay.
It was a really good episode. So that was one of the things this week that was really good.
For anyone who's watching Tony Kawa, we've got a little bit more backstory on the main girl.
Yeah, a possible twist coming down soon. Some sort of supernatural twist, maybe. So if you're watching it, look forward to that when that gets explained, because that's something you wouldn't expect if you just went into this thing a slice of life romance.
Yeah, true.
So unless like they twist it, and it's not actually like it's just kind of like a red herring that it's supernatural and still just relatively normal.
If it turns out she was like really into history, that'd be
yeah,
kind
like
of sad.
it's definitely possible though they could easily do that. They've given us hints otherwise, and we're just used to anime being fucking weird, so we know they could easily take it there.
That is very true.
But there's a good chance it's also not going to be that. It's something much more obvious. If anything, I think the twist will be that she's just like fucking old. Like she like doesn't age or something, because she understood like the writing that the dad thought that was kind of weird and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like if it turns out it's like, oh, this is like ancient Sanskrit. No one's ever translated this before.
It also makes slight sense why she's not into history, because she's like lived it, so she doesn't really care about it.
It's like, this is wrong, dude. I lived it. Just rewrite that part of the history book.
Yeah. So Tony Kawa was good. A couple implications there. I finished catching up on Kuma 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 Bear, which is entertaining as always. Not much to talk about there. Just a nice show to relax and watch each week.
Yeah, like there was a couple drama I think 1 or 2 episodes ago, but the whole thing with like the there was the orphans and the eggs and that kind of stuff. Yeah, which was probably the darkest that show's ever gotten. But
probably, and even then, it wasn't very it was solved relatively quickly. No characters that we thought were evil or that we thought were good were evil.
Yeah.
Like we kind of all expected how it was going to turn out. But it's still a nice, relaxing show to watch each week. Yeah, then I think that's pretty much all the anime. I caught up on Our Last Crusade, which is just like a fantasy romance. It's just like a fantasy Romeo and Juliet, basically.
Yeah, basically, I'd almost liken it to West Side Story, which took inspiration from Romeo and Juliet, just done to death in anime form. Yeah,
I like it, but it doesn't blow any. I'm not going to recommend it for anime of the year. It doesn't blow any minds. Yeah. But it's still enjoyable if I have the time to watch it. But sometimes like that's one of those ones where I get like 3 episodes behind. And then maybe on a day where I have free time, I'll just watch the 3 episodes like a couple weeks later without really minding, because we don't talk about it on here, so it's easy just to catch up later. Yeah,
like if I had to describe it as anything else, I don't know if you remember the movie Warm Bodies.
I do, yeah.
It makes me think of that very much in terms of its target demographic.
Yeah, I can see that. Warm Bodies, to me, the target demographic was people who thought Twilight was dumb, and they're like, okay, this knows it's like Twilight, but it's not like Twilight.
I feel like that's a very large portion of the anime community.
Yeah, probably. I really liked Warm Bodies when it first came out.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think this next week, as I mentioned earlier, I'm probably going to rewatch season 3 of Attack on Titan. It's not a very long season, at least, so I should be able to get through it relatively fast, and that way I'm all warmed up and ready to go for when we start talking about season 4. And then, like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, if you have any recommendations for winter anime right now, especially that's coming out, let us know. We just want to get some opinions. Maybe we'll make like a poll or something on one of the episodes to figure out what people are going to be watching. And then, because we just want to try and boost the viewers with the winter 2021.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's a good time to try and get a couple more people into watching if there's more anime that people are going to be interested in. I know like shit like Log Horizon too. Like I'll be able to talk about that quite a bit.
We'll be talking about it longer than the actual episode ran.
Yeah, probably. There'll be more to discuss, and then Attack on Titan. Obviously, there's gonna be some of those twist episodes or shit like the finale. Wow. We're gonna have to make like a whole episode special just on the finale alone.
That's gonna end up as another decadence. We're gonna just save the last episode
because there's like the Attack on Titan like museum section in like Japan, where the the audio from the last episode can be heard in one room. You go into the room, it goes completely dark, and you can only hear the last like few lines of the show. It's because it's like a thing without seeing it or anything like that, and it doesn't like spoil anything, but it like sounds really like dramatic and emotional from what I've heard from people hearing it, and I'm like, that's just so cool. It's like getting people all hyped for it because the guys know how it's going to end for like the entire thing.
I mean, I hope so.
So yeah, I'm just so pumped.
It's going to be a big season.
Yeah. So if you know have any friends who are looking forward to Attack on Titan, definitely recommend them. They can start watching right when we come out with it. I think other than that, we're good for the week, and we'll see y'all next week. Once again, I've been Cam.
I've been Jimmy.
And take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a good week. Peace.
Peace.